Red, blue, purple light, friends, facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red and blue, purple. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light.
To this day.
Facts.
To this day.
Red, blue, purple
To this day.
light. Red. Red and blue, purple light, friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger. Sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger. My love, just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love. To the family, peace, love, and light. To the family, peace, love, and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you and it's going to provoke you and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Peace to the family. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Can you hear me? Check, 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 check. Microphone check. Microphone check. Let me know how we sound in the audio. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. We are here. We in the building. All right, all right. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursdays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar, reporting live and direct. And that tune that you just heard is entitled Facts Remix. I mean, that's from 44 Tops right there. Definitely look out for the vinyl. Please believe that vinyl is on the way. You know what I'm talking about? Look out for that vinyl. That will be on the way. We will definitely have that available very, very soon. It'll probably be accompanied by a 1970s, 1960s type of style video. You know what I mean? You gotta break the bell bottoms out for that one. You know what I'm talking about? That's that mink slide right there. Yes, indeed. So let us go ahead and do the roll call. Let me see who's in the building. Tonight we have a powerful show. I have a special guest. I'm bringing the good brother SHARIF Bey back to the program to have a conversation, a very, very needed conversation at the moment because, we have an event coming up on Sunday entitled Fear of a Black and More Messiah. And man, I'm trying to tell you, the spirit of fear has entered into the room. You know what I'm talking about? So we're gonna break some. Go ahead and do this, and then we'll get right to it. All right. We got Fayetteville in the building. Shout out to Fayetteville. We got Harlem in the building. Vegas is in the building. All right. Shout out to Vegas. CT in the building. Shout out to the Connecticut family. All right. Let us see who is in the building. We got Waco, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Tampa, Florida. You dig? We got the Orion, Washita from Mexum, aka Philadelphia, Duval. All right, we got North Hollywood, we got Greenville. Shout out to everybody in the building. Memphis, sir. My heart is in Memphis. Houston, we got Phoenix in the building. All right. Peace, love, and light. CT Patterson, California, Birmingham, Baltimore, Philly, BX. All right, Waco, DC. All right, all right. So Miami in the building, Columbus, Savannah, St. Pete, got LA, we got BKNY, Norfolk is in the building. All right, shout out to everybody pulling up. Salute to everybody around the world. It seems as if we're locked in. You know, I'm talking about the grid is activated and the family's in the building. All right. So where do we begin? Um, First and foremost, thank you everybody for pulling up for Melanin Monday. That episode has gone viral. That was the Moorish Roundtable featuring Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey, Grand Sheikh Sharif Anil Bey, my good brother Sabir Bey, and my other good brother Minister of Information, MOI. And we intend on doing more roundtables with more powerful Moors and roundtables with our Kemetic brothers, our Hebrew brothers. You know what I mean? We'll sit down with with the whole community. You know what I'm saying? Whatever makes sense, because the next 5 months, um, in my humble opinion, my duty in life, or my purpose for that matter, is just really screaming for me to be active. You know what I'm talking about, and to do things, to bring solutions to the table and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk in that light. You know what I mean? So we will be very active moving forward. Please believe me when I tell you. But as you can see with this poster that you see right here, if anybody is trying to figure out who's the man in the middle, that man happens to be Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay. And the two people that are flanking him on the blue side, you have Kamala Devi Harris, and on the red side, you have Donald J. Trump. Okay. So we'll get into it as we move forward. But yeah, there's a lot going on. Um, we're gonna talk about this. We'll cover some other things that are going on in the news as well as we move into the program. But yeah, I do want to highlight when we begin to talk about Project Fear, okay? And FEAR is an acronym for false elections appearing real, okay? False elections appearing real. About a month ago, this time, June 25th, people were aware of an election. They had an awareness. They knew that it was an election year. They basically knew who they were going to vote for, but they were not tied into it. They were not invested. They were not underneath the spell. They were not gripped by emotions the way that they are now. So, if one were to step back and pay attention to how things have changed progressively in the last 30 days, I would say it has picked up considerably, okay? Whereas We now have millions upon millions of people vested with their souls and their spirits and even their lives into this political theater that we see ourselves in right now, the 2024 election cycle, right? The 2024 election cycle. It has suddenly swept the attention of the world, not just America or the USA for that matter, not just the USA. It has the attention of the whole world, okay? And they're making bets on the election cycle on FanDuel. Is becoming a source of betting, right? Um, our sisters, the women, melanated Moabites, right? Women who stand for women's rights, women who stand for diversity, equality, women who stand for inclusion. They're looking at this as their chance, and they are becoming heavily invested in creating a reality where this woman is going to be the commander in chief because in their minds and based off of their intuition and what they see a future underneath Donald J. Trump, aka Homelander, as very, very scary. Okay. Not something that they even want to entertain, and definitely not something that they're willing to chance. And I don't blame them. Okay. I don't blame them. Um, I have no negative feelings about that. I will not tell women how to feel and, you know, if their intuition is correct or not, but, they feel like that is not a reality that they want to give birth to. So, magically, the tides have changed and swiftly, very swiftly, even though it was forecasted. I mean, people saw the whole Kamala play coming months ago. I mean, we were talking about that on this channel for months now, but now it has finally taken effect. Uh, Joe Biden was on TV yesterday, and I don't know if you saw it, but I definitely was able to peep it. What Joe Biden addressed the nation. Here we have in 4K color the face of an 80-year-old man with the hands of a 40-year-old. I just don't understand it. Maybe somebody in the audience could tell me what the hell was I looking at, because they zeroed in on his hands, bro, and the man had hands of a 40-year-old with a face mask of somebody that was allegedly supposed to be around 80. So, they're back to their little tricks, you know, dude that was talking last night, I don't know who he is, you know, I don't know who he is, but he's the latest iteration of the Joe Biden clone, because we know that, the dude that's been addressing the world in the past few years, that's not homie that was running around behind Barack Obama years ago. But anyway, she's in the forefront. Um, the theater, and I always have to preface that this is pure theater. This is the Yeah, peace, peace, peace. We are back in the building. We are back in the building. All right. Let me know how we sound on the audio. But we are definitely back in the building. Let me go ahead and open up the line for my guest for this evening. All right. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you our guest for the evening. The good brother was a part of our historic Moorish master panel that just took place on Melanin Mondays. And he goes all the way back with Know the Ledge, all the way back to Blog Talk Days, Know the Ledge Radio, man. His brother has been putting in work in the community for eons, and he's continuing to shine his light. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the Grand Sheikh Sharif Anael Bey. Islam, peace.
Islam. What's good, bro?
All is well.
I heard before you had the little sound glitch. You mentioned something about theater. Yeah, you jumped right into it, bro. You there?
Yeah, we
Okay.
here. We good.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yo, real quick, I want to show your audience what I'm working with today.
The proof is in the Putin.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yo, is that Soul Brothers?
That's the picture that Putin
Putin
pulled
put out.
Yeah, bro.
The proof is in the Putin. Man, you killing them with that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't take the credit for it, though. Shout out to my good brother and comrade here in Syracuse, New York. Bro, you want to talk about, man, turning poison into medicine.
Right.
You know, he was hard body in the streets, heavy. And then turned himself around when he became part of the Moorish movement. And long story short, he turned his street credibility into an entire industry.
That's
Follow
right.
me. This is what he did. We've all been there in the streets, and we know that there's a magnetic pull to that, right?
That's right.
He and his wife put together white paper, and it's critically reviewed, vetted, and acclaimed and published, right? Showing street life addiction as a valid behavioral addiction. Not only did they do that, and they lectured all over the world on it, they have an independent program up and running, fully funded,
right,
that has a diagnosis and treatment model. And they have over 100 youth, that they work with directly.
Wow, look at that.
It's called, you can look them up, it's called Street Addiction Academy.
Street Addiction Academy.
Yes, sir. And the brother's name is Tim Jennings Bey.
Look how God works, right?
Sure, for sure. So I got to give the credit to him for the shirt.
Check it out.
That's his work.
Check it out, Sherry. He's one of the ones who has the Messianic force.
Come on, bro.
Right? That we find in our hoods.
Yes.
And when we say, they have magnetic personalities, or when we say people are drawn to them, or when we say they're the light in the darkness, translation on a scientific, esoteric level, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what we refer to as the Messianic force. That is exactly what we're referring to when we're saying a Black or more Messiah. We are not talking about one person. We're not burdening you to find one needle in a haystack. We're saying that it is an energy. It's in every group of people.
Yes.
Right? In all different groups of people, they are the Messianic ones. The same way that this show Supercell on Netflix is showing you that there's the Messianic, there's the ones who have the powers amongst the many, right? But it's not everyone. Yes. It's a select few.
But the power itself manifested is the Christ.
Is the Christ, yes.
The power is the Christ.
Is the Christ.
You have to grow it inside of you.
That
is the second coming.
That is the second coming. And lo and behold, everybody could be on that time because it is inside of everyone. However, we will not fool ourselves to think or to believe in the fact that everyone is going to do it at once.
There you go.
So for you to wait or for you to measure or for you to compare
Yes.
others to you is a complete it's malware. It will create nothing
Woo!
but confusion and chaos.
And it's a negation of the truth. It's a negation.
It's an
Matter of
right.
fact, you know what that is, bro? It's antichrist vibe.
It is antichrist,
Antichrist
right?
energy.
It's not Christ-like. It's given
Right.
antichrist.
Because you to do that, you're denying the existence of the Christ in yourself.
And you and yourself.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts. The Christos that is within.
Right. Right.
So that is the messianic energy. That is the messianic charge. That is the messianic force. That is the messianic spirit that
Yes.
is being surveilled.
Come
They're
on.
watching. They
Come
have
on.
metrics. They can measure it.
Bro,
Okay.
it's the
Through
truth. That's the truth.
surveillance. Huh?
That's the truth, bro.
Through energy surveillance, through audio and video surveillance,
Yes.
through all type of things. They've
Right.
been able to target. They've been able to isolate. They've been able to identify and entrap and do other things to take the
Yes.
messiahs off
It's
of their
fact.
square and their path.
It's fact, bro. That's
Yeah.
see, it's deep. I'm gonna share like again, truth is but one. Nobody has no group or organization has a monopoly on truth. And truth
Facts.
is true, whether it's religious, theological, philosophical, scientific, truth is truth. That said, I gotta salute you, and I'm not being patronized, and I'm just calling it what it is. You're not a member of the Moorish Science Symbol of America, but you understand by what you just said, you understand one of the key tenets of the movement and the teachings of Prophet Drew Ali better than many people in the organization. That's the truth.
Mm.
That is the truth, brother. That is the truth. Matter of fact, to that point, I'll add this.
Yes.
We were taught wrong. We were taught that we were taught to look for Christ in a singular personality.
Right.
Right? When
Right.
Jesus is recorded in the Bible as saying, pick up your cross and follow me.
Right.
In other words, he said what Clay Sloan said to Denzel Washington in Training Day. Around here, you got to put in your own work.
Own work. Right.
Yeah. You got to save yourself.
Can't ever do it through anyone. You can't do it through no other party.
Nah.
It is impossible.
Right.
So to observe one saving their self and to once again
Right.
become jealous, become envious,
Right.
compare, measure, and do all of these things,
Right.
you are missing the whole entire point. What you
Yes.
should be doing is learning the lessons of both failure and success from those
Absolutely.
that you are observing. And when observing others, you learn from their mistakes. You learn from the things that they've done to make them to either to make them fall or to make them stumble or to
Correct.
make them rise and whatnot. And you apply it to your journey because all of this is it's the mythos. It's all a hero's journey.
Yes,
But
it is, brother. Oof.
it is right. It is impossible to live through somebody else's journey and
Right.
to think that you are on your journey, if that or that is a part of the journey.
Right. I'm glad you brought up mythos, bro. So because even the Christ frequency
Yes.
is a key part of the mythos. But make no mistake, without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength.
That's right.
And thought must be developed by the exercise of strength, meaning your ops are your greatest helpmeet because your ops force you to manifest what's in you. That
That's
said,
right.
don't think that you can begin to manifest the Christ energy and not see Judas and Herod pop up too.
Oh man.
It's
If
coming.
you dare to enter,
It's coming.
people think that this journey is about changing their name online
Right.
and ordering an outfit
Ooh.
off of Temu, and it was never like that.
Right.
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 You took the red pill.
Yes, sir.
You began a journey. That journey was called a hero's journey.
Oof. Yeah.
You had to adhere to the tenets and to the rules of that spiritual journey. That spiritual journey involves pain. That spiritual journey involves detachment. That spiritual journey involves isolation. That spiritual journey involves, quote unquote, stripping you down or stripping you away from all of the trappings. You're supposed to be, oh man, do you understand what you signed up for?
Right.
Do you understand what you signed up for? You thought it was just changing your name so you could holler at shorty with the septum ring?
Right. Ooh,
don't do it for that.
Yeah, don't do that.
And there's so many people who went on this journey and thought this was a luxurious, boutique, opulent, selfie and whatnot. And they didn't realize you stepped into a lion's den, a den of vipers in some instances, where you were surrounded by demons. You were surrounded by dark spirits. You were on that path, on that part of your hero's journey when you were in the lion's den or the pit.
Right.
Don't blame us for that. Don't look around and no, this is a part of that journey.
That's a part of the journey.
With pitfalls. Listen. You were in the jungle, fam.
That's
Are
real.
you dumb? Like, for real. You were in the wilderness.
Yeah, bro.
This thing will have you out here butt naked, bro.
Yep. And you have to learn to be okay with that.
For real.
You got to learn. You literally have to learn to be okay with chaos and okay with conflict, and see conflict as your aid and assistance. Think about if you want to go to the weight room and get Brocky, right? You don't run from the weights.
You run to them.
Yeah.
You run to them.
Exactly.
When you want to get right in the gym, in the boxing ring, and you want to get them hands right,
you cheerfully put your face in harm's way, don't you?
You cheerfully put your face in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
You are taught to smile at adversity.
Yes.
You were taught to embrace pain because it helps to do away with karma.
That's right.
And these are the things this is the cross that you bear.
I don't know if the viewers caught what you just said, bro.
I hope they did.
First and foremost, karma is a real thing. The fact that our people are in the condition we're in is a result of karma.
Yes.
Collective karma, right? And so, Brother Red Pill just gave a very powerful spiritual formula. We are perfected and redeemed by what we suffer.
That is a fact.
See?
That is a fact.
In other words, we're not punished for our sins, people. We're punished by our sins.
You're punished by your sins.
Right.
But the same way that the Hindu yogi sits in the lotus position and he goes through all of that pain, he breathes through that pain. And he basically pushes through that pain. That's him pushing through karma. That karma is that pain. In the gym, those weights, that is karma. As you go through that pain, as you break the body down, as you begin to welcome the pain, like Mike Tyson said, you have to do what you don't want to do as if you love it.
Yo, bro, you just cracked into something that I'm going to speak to on Sunday.
Wonderful.
We're talking Messiah talk. So we're talking that Christ consciousness. We're talking it's a process as well, right? So like you mentioned, lifting weights or exercise and getting in the gym to get your hands right?
Yes, sir.
So let's take the gym, right? Lifting weights, exercising doesn't build me up. The technical word for build up is anabolic, like anabolic steroids. See that?
Anabolic.
The technical word in this respect for exercise is catabolic. It breaks you down.
Yes, catabolic.
Now in alchemy, the word for death or black, the word for death is called negredo. Sounds blackness. In other words, disillusion. You break something down. That is the preliminary stage in the alchemical process. You
Mm.
break down the base thing,
Right.
the rude, rough thing. You break
Right.
it down.
You
And
break it
so
down.
that's catabolic. That's exercise. In other words, exercise is voluntary death of the old self.
Yes, it
Then
is.
what do? You eat. And eating is anabolic. Think of food as medicine because you got to
It
put
is.
back.
It
You got to
builds you
put in.
back in. Right.
Yes, you got to put in the things that are going to help your body rebuild. And then what
Yeah.
do? Die. Go to sleep.
You go to sleep to repair.
There
To
you
rebuild.
go. It is
To rebirth.
literally the death, burial, and resurrection formula personified in the story of Jesus in the Bible.
Say that again.
It is the formula. See, this is what we all miss. We're focused on the personality that we're given.
Right.
And we're not paying attention to the process, and that it's a dynamic process that we go through, that we all must go through to improve in anything.
Mm.
We must go through it to improve in anything as individuals, even inside the individual in our psyche, as a collective, as a family, as a nation. We all have to go through it.
That's a fact.
Yes, sir.
And I would go on record to say that we are going through it.
Yes.
Currently.
We're at the end stage. We're at the end stage of the first stage
Right.
of alchemical process, which is called Negredo. Why do you think in the Moorish science of America we say black according to science means death? Now you know.
Right.
You have to be, as KRS said, it broken down to the very last
compound.
That's us. That's us. See,
Yeah.
The next stage is life springs forth from death. This
Right.
is where we're at the threshold at now.
Mm.
This is what J. Edgar Hoover sought to prevent.
Right.
See?
With the rise of the Black Messiah.
There you go. Life springing out from death. In other words, a nation out of dead people. Huh.
That's right. That's right. Because that's the only way to go after the death is the rebirth. It's like the mycelium network. It's like you'll see in the mushroom kingdom.
Yes.
You know?
How they convert waste material into a
living
part
organisms.
of the ecosystem.
That's right.
So they do.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
So quiet as kept, we collectively as a people, because we're connected like the mycelium network, and we're connected through our emotions, and our feelings, and our stimuli, similar to the mycelium network, we collectively feel pain at the same time.
We must, and we have to recognize the fact that we do, because the ability to consciously do it and recognize that it's being done means we are literally living the spiritual life through community. Community in function, community in action is practical spirituality, because I feel Brother Red Pill's pain. That means I'm living outside my body in real time. In real time.
So currently the sister Sonia Massey, I put together some slides. We'll get into it in a minute, but collectively that's one of those, it's one of those situations where we're all feeling the same thing,
brother. And it's meant. Okay, can I jump on that real quick, brother?
Of course.
We're meant to collectively feel it. We're meant to, and I want the listeners, the viewers, to hear me out. It was designed for us. Listen, are you aware of the fact that there was another police shooting that took place a few days prior?
Yes.
Okay.
With a 4-year-old.
With a 4-year-old that was allegedly being held hostage, and the officer shot
through the child.
The alleged hostage, or the alleged kidnapper, through the hostage. Shot both of them. One shot.
Right.
And they didn't want to talk about it, didn't bring it up until after the Massey situation. Then they say, oh, that officer is going to be no criminal charges.
Even more than that, let's go back in time.
Mm-hmm.
She is the ancestor of a lynched man.
See? Now, this is what I want to say about all of that. And I mentioned here, let's follow it. Let's just put a couple of facts together so we can paint a picture of a narrative. The Christchurch shooter a number of years ago in Australia.
Right, I remember.
The Buffalo Top shooter.
Right. Dylan
Roof.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just take those three, but we could use other ones. All three of them were utilizing a boilerplate manifesto.
That's right.
And in it, they all said, we are trying to incite a race war.
Right.
Because we want to agitate Asiatics or quote unquote black people to the point where they take to the streets violently. Right. Why do they want them to do that? Here we go. In 2004, the FBI published a report. It's public. You can go online and get it. Announcing that nearly every municipal law enforcement agency in the country was infiltrated by white supremacist organizations.
Yes, I have that report.
Now you know why they are doing these things so blatantly to get to us emotionally in a collective fashion.
Oh, for sure. The whole thing was a ritual. Let me explain.
Yes.
Like it's not going over my head at all.
Right.
This is the George Floyd of 2024. Right?
Yes.
This was the fact that the sister has a relative that was lynched, and the fact that they basically took out a 4-year-old relative of her is definitely a ritual. These towns, they know their residents. Yes. And they scheme on the Messianic ones, the bloodlines.
Come on, brother.
This is definitely what it is. It's deeper than what we even think it is.
Pay attention, the viewer. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you.
Nah, go ahead, please.
Viewers, pay attention. To the and we're not playing. And I say we as in myself and the host. We do not play this bipartisan nonsense because that's an illusion to and a distraction to. But that said, the right is pushing this big thing about the border crisis and then trying to get our people involved on their side on that matter. Oh, these illegal immigrants are taking black jobs. What? Right? This is what's being said now.
Right.
But now let's be real. The fact of the matter is, and if you don't even have to look that deep, the right's biggest issue about the whole so-called border crisis is what they call replacement theory. What they're saying overtly is replacement theory is, oh, well, the left is bringing in illegal immigrants to outnumber true American voters. Now, we know that's not true and that's not the case. What is it really? Replacement theory has everything to do with what they know to be true about us, the browning of America. That's what it is.
No, that's exactly.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Eddie Glaude said it a few years ago, right on national television. That's the big pink elephant in the living room that they don't want to openly say, but they're coming really close. Now, I said all that to say this. They'll talk illegal immigrants, but you don't see Europeans and police indiscriminately killing them, though, do you?
Nope, I haven't seen that happen yet.
Who are they indiscriminately killing? All right.
So, yeah.
See?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man. This thing is our predicament and our value and importance in the predicament, we ourselves grossly underestimate.
Not only, look, like I was saying earlier in the beginning of the show, if our people don't realize that they're utilized, we are the battery.
We're the battery. We're the copper
We are the
top.
battery. We are the copper tops. They did not have a charge. They did not have the type of energy that they needed. They were laying out all of the pieces on the chessboard. Then they put that sister in the front,
Yeah.
and automatically the charge changed.
Changed.
It changed overnight.
Didn't.
So they have millions of us now plugged in to their game.
Bro,
Those tickets
reinvested,
sold
huh?
out, right? Look,
Freshly reinvested, right?
like how the weekend went on. He crashed the Ticketmaster today by going by and they did the Kamala thing. 44,000 women jumped on Zoom and they
Yes.
crashed Ticketmaster. They bought right into the
Yes.
program
Yes.
leading up to the end of the Jason month.
Ain't that
So
something?
they locked in, and we know that the Trumpers are locked in because they locked in at the RNC. That was their coronation. That was their
Yes.
quote unquote, that's the
Yes.
beginning of their WrestleMania.
Right. Okay. So when I first got on and I was in the guest room, when you were talking before there was a little sound glitch, you were talking about theater. I
Yes.
need everybody to go look up the Smith Munt modernization. That's Smith-MUNDT, right? Look it up. I believe it's U.S. Public Law. I believe it's 104, 193, right? But the Smith-Munt Act, here it is, people. Let's go back. Follow me. There's what we call spycraft and statecraft, right? It's what organizations like the CIA do in other countries for U.S. public interest. In other words, destabilization. Mm-hmm. How do they destabilize countries? Well, there's classic methods. Of course, there's assassinations. Okay, sure, fine. But here's the major ways. Phony news articles or false flag events. Now, follow me, people. Just because it's a false flag event doesn't mean real people don't die.
Right.
All right. Gotta say that.
Get that out the way. Right.
Naomi Wolf was talking about this a number of years ago on a show, where she was speaking about it, right? She was
collateral damage.
Yes. She was a former consultant to the White House. She's a reporter and all this stuff. And somebody asked her about the Boston Marathon bombing. And she literally said, "Oh man, I knew this was going to come up and I didn't really want to speak on it, but it's on the table now, so I got to speak to it." She's talked about it. She was like, "Yeah, the Boston bombing, by all accounts, was a false flag. People still died, but it was a false flag." See that? By definition, that would be the same thing with the Twin Towers.
Right.
You see? So now, fast forward. This is what's done in foreign countries. Now, of course, is it done in the United States? It's been done in the United States. But here's the difference, people. The Smith-Munt Act now makes it legal for the United States government to propagandize its own citizens.
That's right.
So that means every news piece you look at, you have to ask yourself.
Right. Is this Midjourney?
Right. Everything you see on the news today now.
Everything. It's all Edward Benet approved.
Yes, bro.
Yes. It's all Edward Benet approved. Like, we cannot fool ourselves. So when people are saying, was the thing staged with the sister? Hey, you know what? According to, our CapCut experts, it could have been. But
brother, to the point we were just making about how Dylan Roof, the top shooter, the Christchurch shooter, all of them were civilians.
Yes.
That did exactly what this officer did.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Who's to say that officer wasn't under directions to take one for the team?
Right.
Yeah.
Because they crash out.
Yes.
They have, that's their versions of crash outs. You know what I mean?
They got cushions though. Project 2025.
Right. Yeah, they
See?
got big cushions. We'll come and get you guys on a pardon. You
Yeah, come
know,
on, bro.
we're gonna get you on
Come
a
on.
presidential pardon.
Right.
We're gonna go to appeal this.
Right.
And if what we saw in Illinois is not real, as people may suggest, what we're pointing out that this is, yes, a part of their inaugural rituals. This is
Yeah.
the George Floyd of
Yeah.
2024. We're gonna get
But it's
into,
easily that.
yes, it's easily, and it
It's
easily
easily
came
that.
at the time when it was time to galvanize the emotional pot of melanated women, especially the Moabites.
Mm.
Fear is now settling in because, when you look at the dude who did the shooting, he's
Right.
given Dylan Roof, he's given Kyle Rittenhouse, he's given that army. He looks like he's a part of those White Walkers,
Yeah.
right? He's a part of that gang. He's given the
Yes.
same, yeah, he's
Yes.
gang. You could look in his face.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
giving you Logan Paul and Jake Paul,
Trinity.
and
He said Logan
you know what I
Paul.
mean? He's giving you the Cro Magnum,
Yo, straight up and down. Right down to the
Jermaine.
jawline. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's what he's giving.
Yeah.
Neanderthal.
Yeah.
And we know that those people are being emboldened by they've been emboldened by the assassination attempt.
Right.
It's not only emboldened them, it's basically put them into a tit for tat type of mentality. Blood
Yes.
was shed. Once
Woo.
blood is shed, it's hard to go backwards. It's hard to turn the clock back.
Dear
It's
brother,
hard to, huh?
that you said a mouthful on
Yeah,
that. Even with the attempt, the alleged attempt assassinate,
alleged.
presidential
Yeah, let's say
assassination.
alleged. Right,
Right.
another theater, another possible theater.
Theater. Now, do we know 100%? Do we know 100% the exact motive? Nah, we don't. Let's be honest. We can speculate, but there's certain things about that we could definitely nail down and say this is that. Right off the bat, there's no way in the world that 20-year-old got up on that roof
Right.
in the middle of a hot zone without any assistance.
Right. Nobody's even questioning if he had some type of assistant. They're just literally breezing over that. And that's crazy.
Right. No way. No way. There's no way in the world that standard operating procedure for the Secret Service during an event where there's a live shooter allow the subject that they're securing to do a photo op and pump his fist with the flag.
Right.
Come on, like,
right.
Come on, people. Do we know the full motives? No, we don't. But you know what? All we have to do, we don't have to. This is one of the things. One of the aunts of one of my peoples used to say, "Don't tell me what happened. Just tell me who was there."
That's right.
See what I'm saying? Don't tell me what happened. I don't need to know what happened. All I need to know is who was there, and I don't know what happened.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So in the grand scheme of things, all we got to do is say, all we can do is ask that Latin question, "Que bono?" Who benefits?
Right.
Well, in the book of Revelations, there's an allegorical story, right, of a beast that ruled, and that beast got its power from another beast, the dragon.
Right.
And that beast had one of its heads wounded, and then that wound was miraculously healed. And then the people worshiped the beast and said, "Who is like unto the beast, and who can make war with him?" I don't got to say nothing.
Let us do this, my good brother.
Yes, sir.
I put together some slides. Let us dive into the slides.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's dive into the slides, ladies and gentlemen. This is this may show up in the lecture on Sunday.
Yeah.
But we're gonna breeze through this information tonight and touch on some things, but we're gonna go into more detail during the lecture on Sunday, and we are giving away 10 free shirts, or not 10 free shirts, but for the first 10 ticket buyers, you are getting 10, 10 of y'all are going to be able to get some t-shirts courtesy of our sponsor, the Mart 125th. So as you see, Project F.E.A.R. All right. Our favorite billionaire / car maker / social media platform owner / whatever has gone fully far right. He's not even center right. He's embraced the dark side. I've been highlighting him as one of the 4 horsemen. I labeled the new 4 horsemen. They're all out of tech because what they're doing as the billionaires is they're funding this whole transhumanism movement where these men are playing God, right? They're trying to extend life. They're trying to cheat life. They're trying to establish what they call is transhumanism from Ray Kurzweil's point of view.
And what they're doing, right, to use a popular movie, they're going the way of the architect and not the way of the oracle.
Right. Exactly. They are definitely going the way of the architect. They are ushering in what is known as the Antichrist, which is, in my humble opinion, it's going to be attached to some form of AI or what they would call AGI.
Brother, you cracked the code early on by properly identifying the second coming. You cracked it right there. So if we're talking about, the new Christ is a merger of man and machine, that is Antichrist in that respect.
That is Antichrist. It's anti-nature. It's not. If
Christ comes out of us, that means the human psyche is the technology, people.
That's right.
Yeah.
So these men are a part of a mission to replace the divinity that those with the supercells have, and to create a false world. And one of his wars that he is currently becoming the face of is the war against the woke, the toxic woke culture. He has a son that transitioned into another gender, I believe, and he's blaming it not on his parenting skills. He's not blaming it. He's not blaming it on anything else. Maybe because the child didn't have parents around. I don't know the story, but what I do know is that he's saying that he's going to destroy woke, right? And he's a billionaire and he's a fanatic. And he stood next to Netanyahu yesterday when he addressed Congress. He made a surprise appearance to pledge his like I was saying in the lecture when I first revealed it. They're all from the same place. You feel me? They're all from the same place. They are part of the same exact ethnicity and culture of you know who. And they've been utilizing a lot of the people's unwitting, unknowing, and unsuspecting ways to get over. But he's revealing himself.
Yes,
right?
Yes, he is. Well, real quick, I want to say another thing real quick about Musk, about Elon Musk.
Yes.
Elon Musk, people remember. So, people talk about deep state.
Yes.
Right? And the right, and I'm just going to call it what it is. And I hope I'm not offending people, but the right will associate the deep state with the left.
With the right.
These guys are crazy. Right?
Super
Get
crazy.
out of their mind. First of all, if we're talking deep state, one thing we can say for sure about deep state is either synonymous with or this thing that I'm about to name is either synonymous with deep state or a major part of deep state, and that's the industrial military complex.
Right.
All right. That's beyond bipartisanship. It's beyond politics itself.
Right.
When you got a sitting president that says, hey, I want to look into Area 51, and they're like, yeah, you don't have a need to know. Huh?
That's the deep state.
That's deep state.
Shadow government. Rat lines.
Now, I say that to say this, right? I say that to say this. Elon Musk is head of a private corporation that's involved in space flight and space travel. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The deep state is the gatekeeper for breakaway civilizations, people.
Mm.
What do we mean by breakaway civilizations? Here we go. You guys saw the last two King Kong Godzilla movies?
Yes, I did. Yep, with the kingdom.
Okay.
They're in Middle Earth.
And you had a private corporation that had access to, oh, come on, bro.
That's Avatar.
That's breakaway civilization, people, and they exist. You understand? Okay. Even Trump's Space Force is
right.
a what happened was interface
right.
between the regular public and breakaway civilization.
Right. And as soon as he ushers in the Space Force, then they began that rollout, because you are getting a rollout to contact. They're rolling it out. They're just not going to drop it on you. But you all of a sudden you start hearing about UAEs. You never heard about it.
Sped up disclosure, brother. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So when we look at Elon Musk, you got to look at him in that light.
Facts.
Yeah.
He's an asset.
Yes.
Okay. Very dangerous too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
right. What do we got?
I don't know if the volume is on that, but they basically introduced Kamala. Nobody clapped.
Ain't that crazy?
No, nobody clapped. They're going to have to do a job to get her to be more likable. I'm thinking that AOC is going to play a big role.
Yes.
In this whole rollout, because they're headed for a certain demographics to assure the win.
What does Project 2025 mean for public schools and teachers? Man, oh man.
Hold on. Let me do something. The volume for some reason it's not playing.
That's a deep one right there.
What's that?
You all realize that about some of the tenets of Project 2025 as it relates to education, how they're talking about doing away with the Department of Education? Project 2025 is talking. They're saying they're eliminating the Department of Education, eliminating African American studies, banning books on slavery.
Right.
You understand what that means, people? Man, oh
now,
man.
This is where I would say the Moors would come in.
You hit it, right, brother? Okay, follow me. I'm glad you said that, because a conversation. Go ahead.
Right. Because when they remove all of the false information, because anything being removed from school right now, theoretically speaking, and to no disrespect to what we all collectively learned, right? Because we all went to these boards of education, but it was not the truth that we all received in our awakening through the master teachers and the multiple books that were the literature that was given to us over the past 100 years. Let's not even talk about the books that we're translating with AI now from the 1500s and the 16 and the 1700s, right? We're translating all of that.
Brother.
So those with the proper status, those who could, do the type of moves that need to be done to bring right literature back into the system.
Come on,
if that were to happen, if the Project 2025 thing were to happen, they would be the ones that I would see, as they would be able to interface with these agencies and bring information back to,
let's share here on a more broader and simpler level, but just as profound.
Yes.
Share the prophetic, and there's no other way we could put it, the prophetic wisdom of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder of the Moorish Science Symbol of America. Follow me. The people that put together Project 2025 is the Heritage Foundation. Basically, what are they? They're Christian identity.
Yes, they are.
All right. What is this country known for? The American system of government. It's known for separation of church and state, and no particular religious test needed. Right. So not favoring any particular religion. Now, of course, they favor the Christian religion. Fine. But the Constitution of the United States provides full protection for freedom of religion. So let's just say, fast forward, Project 2025 becomes, we already know it's the marching orders for Trump, but let's say it becomes a full reality and it becomes fully institutionalized. That just made the Moorish Science Temple of America the only and last institution constitutionally protected to teach the history of our people.
Right.
See?
Yeah,
ain't that something?
I definitely, yeah.
Ain't that something? Now, would they fight it? Of course they'd fight it, but hey, we're a religious organization, so they would have to deny themselves in the process, and that would make
it. Right. It'd be a fight worth having.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. They would have to deny themselves.
Exactly. So there's a culture war that's going to it is going to explode during this rollout of the Project 2025 and during Donald Trump's second term.
Yes.
The fear that they're putting out towards the LGBT community is one of, it's going to make them react in a way where they're going to have to get behind the Democrats, because of course already they are becoming the polar opposite, even in their advertising. She just did a commercial with RuPaul. Kamala, that is.
Wow.
So
wow.
Elon Musk says Benjamin Netanyahu invited him to the U.S. Capitol speech. So he showed up to the Capitol to stand with a war. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is a war criminal. Okay.
Straight like that.
His plane can't land in certain places to refuel. Right. They have to have military. They had the military protecting this dude while he went to address the Congress. And he is a foreign leader addressing the
United States.
Come on. That's impossible. That can't happen. That doesn't happen. Right.
Exactly.
So,
ain't that deep, brother?
Yeah.
Isn't that deep? It's like, so to that point, this is one of the major reasons why I personally am like, look, this thing is going to end no matter who's in the seat. It's going to end the way it's going to end in this sense. It's going to end America as we know it.
Right. That episode is over. Right. That season
over.
That season is coming to a finale.
Right. Eurocentrism as a proxy for Americanism is over.
Right. The whole Western,
over, people.
Right.
Yeah. And one of the main catalysts for this is the United States' unequivocal support of a Euro imperialist colonial settler state.
Right.
And the rest of the world is saying, hells no, you gotta go.
Gotta go, bro. Got to go.
That is what we're dealing with here, people. The international situation is directly affecting the domestic situation.
Geopolitics.
Yes.
This is Agenda 47, ladies and gentlemen. So you have Project 2025, which is Christian nationalism, right? Yes. And the Heritage Foundation. They are outsourced. They are third party. They are not provisional government.
Nope.
This, however, is on his website. This is his agenda. Okay.
Correct.
So this is the Agenda 47 toppled with the Project 2025. So when we say fear of a black or more Messiah and Project Fear, right? False elections appearing real, right? What we mean is that if you find yourself on the other side of what this man is proposing, if you find yourself as the opposition on the chessboard to who this man is aiming at, then you're going to have a feeling of uncertainty up until the day that those polls are basically emptied out and those polls are counted. You have no idea. You don't know. This is such a quote unquote this game right now, this theater, this episode or this season for that matter. Man,
right,
man,
right,
you know,
right.
this shit is it's a gamble. It's a
you know,
you don't know what to expect the next day.
What they would call a white knuckler.
White knuckler, baby.
Yeah.
No.
Have you on the edge of your seat, like, yo, what's next?
This one is a nail biter. You know,
right.
Talk about because you know. But check this out. So, Agenda 47, President Trump's 10 principles for great schools leading to great jobs. America must have the #1 lowest cost energy and electricity, returning production of essential medicines back to America and ending Biden's pharmaceutical shortage. That's cool. The American Academy. He announces a plan to revolutionize higher education by shifting excessively large endowments from private universities towards a new institution called the American Academy. I guess Andrew
y'all
Tate
never read George
there.
Orwell 1980.
Oh, we just get started with this. Check this out. President Trump's message to America's auto workers. Right? What's happening to our auto workers is an absolute disgrace and an outrage beyond belief. Auto workers are getting totally ripped off by crooked Joe Biden and also their horrendous leadership. So he's against the electric revolution like that.
Yes.
He's against all of that EV shit.
Yep.
Right? He could wind up crashing Tesla stocks because he wants to stick with the petroleum and the coal.
And and the fossil fuels and
the fossil fuels, right?
Yeah.
All right. President Trump's pledge to homeschool families. In a new Agenda 47 video, President Donald J. Trump promised to serve as a champion for Americans' homeschool families. Right? President Trump declares war on cartels, ending veteran homelessness in America, no welfare for illegal aliens. So so you got Rachel and my nigga Juan shook right now.
Oh my God.
You know?
Yeah. And again, those are taglines until you read the meat of what he's proposing.
Right.
Like even the whole homeschooling thing. It's like, okay, you know,
you
want to champion homeschool families, but we all know that there has to be a standardized educational standard, and we already know what that's going to be.
Right.
It's going to exclude. It's going to exclude anything that does not support and cheer white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
Right. You're going to have to teach that in your homeschooling.
And there you go.
Have to teach, the Crusades and the Inquisition, and
you're going to have to teach it from the perspective of Western Euro-Roman Catholicism. Right.
This is their last stronghold.
Yes.
So as you can see, based off of their research and based off of their projection, and this is their affirmations in a sense, right? This is their white paper. This is their spell casting. This is their manifesto.
Straight up and down.
Same manifesto that they had in all of the shootings.
Yep.
These become the manifesto that are intricately tied to the replacement theory, the might of right.
Yes.
You know, all of these are like talking points to Jordan Peterson and all of the quote unquote far right, Stephen Bannon, all of this, right?
Yep.
Addressing the rise of chronic childhood illnesses, using empowerment to cut waste, and crush the deep state, right? So
right. But here's the thing. They'll say, "Oh, we're going to crush the deep state," but they want you to swallow fully what they say is the deep state.
Right. They gonna crush themselves.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Like,
They'll say the deep state is the elite. Yeah, that's Trump. How about that?
yeah, you're the elite. Did you forget that part?
Crazy. Crazy.
The hell? And then there's, you know, people are like, somebody's in a trailer home right now crushing a Miller Lite, and they're like, no, Red Pill, you got it wrong. She's draining the swamp. Those are people, they're trafficking children. I'm like, God damn it. You know what I mean? Stick around, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like that on Netflix. You just gotta stick around to the next episode. They'll show you. I don't got time to tell you. They'll show you though. You'll see the plot twist. You'll see an Easter egg, my nigga.
Yeah.
I don't want to break it to you.
Would you say just chill to the next episode?
Chill to the next episode, man. I don't want to give it all away. It might be spoiler alert.
Man. That's right.
So as you can see, all of this of his Agenda 47, I didn't even get the rollout for this yet. This is coming. Prepare yourselves.
Right.
But you know, death penalty for human traffickers, right? So there you go. That's his straight arrow to the QAnons, the deep staters, you know, and you know, all of the streamers and whatnot. He's like, yo, we putting a death penalty on human traffickers. We're gonna get Joe in, we're gonna get all of Hollywood. We're gonna, you know what I mean? That's their code language. He's okay, he's gonna, well, we gotta get with this going on. So yeah.
Right. And we all know what it is. We know what it is. And they're not even, the crazy part is they're not even hiding it now. So they took personal, and it may have been personal. I'm not gonna rule that out, but they took the prosecution, the criminal prosecution of Donald J. Trump. They took it personal, and they said that Biden weaponized the Justice Department against him. So what they're saying is turnabout is fair play. We're going to do the same. We're going to repurpose government and weaponize it against him.
Yes.
That's what's happening. So don't believe that whole, no, we're shrinking government and making government smaller. No. They're repurposing government so they can go after Trump's enemies.
Exactly. That's why they gave him the immunity.
Yes.
Through his quote unquote, that's his Supreme Court. He stacked the deck on them.
Yes. Think about it. Now let's talk about real quick the Chevron deference thing.
Yes, let's talk about it.
So, you know, it just got Supreme Court just threw it out. This is what Chevron deference is, people. You've got laws. Okay, you've got regular government. Let's say you've got Congress, right? And you've got Senate, you got the House of Representatives. Those are elected officials. Yes, they are government. That's the legislative branch. President, his cabinet, executive branch. The checks and balances, of course, with the judicial branch. Now, how many of them know anything about public safety or trash removal or plumbing or aviation, or you get it? So, and remember, government provides services for the people. So what do? They contract with professional agencies that are experts in this field, like the FDA.
Right.
Like, see what I'm saying? Food Drug Administration. Like, okay, that's what they do. Yes.
EPA
and so Chevron deference is this: when you have any law related to any one of these fields that has any ambiguity in it, Chevron deference says the government then defers to the lead executive of that agency to interpret the ambiguity. Now, they got rid of it. So now the person who has the final say is not an expert in the field. Whether we trust him or not is irrelevant, because of course, do we really trust the FDA? All right, fine, but at least they're experts. So now that deference goes not to an expert, but to an appointee of the president in the judicial branch. Why is that significant? Because how long do judges hold those seats?
Until they die.
See how crazy that is?
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy.
That's called playing chess, ladies and gentlemen.
I promise you it is.
If you want to know how that game looks, and yeah, it's called playing chess.
Now, brother, earlier I want to read something for the audience. You mentioned Steve Bannon. I'm glad you mentioned him. Steve Bannon, you know, he was Trump's original political strategist. You know, he's the head of Breitbart and all of that, right? Well, there's a book. It's a New York Times bestseller. The book is called The Devil's Bargain. Steve Bannon, Donald Trump, and the Storming of the Presidency. The author's name is Joshua Green. Okay? In that book, I'm quoting from the book. This is what the book says. Bannon received an education steeped in classics and history. The Benedictine curriculum was traditional Western culture presented in a context of Catholicism. Quote, we were all taught that Western civilization was saved 500 years ago in Spain when Ferdinand and Isabella defeated the Moors.
Yes.
The lesson was, here's where Muslims could have taken over the world. Yep. And here was the great stand where they were stopped. We were taught a worldview. This is how Catholicism survived. I think that shaped all of us. But what Steve Bannon took away, I think, was a belief that you've got to be willing to identify the threat.
Oh, my goodness.
Yo, they're still playing by old world medieval rules today.
Let me explain something to you, because they know, like we know, we said it before they said it, that we are back, that we have reincarnated, that the Moors is back from, not the Moors, the Moors from 7-Eleven is back.
Come on, bro.
When their metadata showed them the videos and they were able to see what was taking place.
Yes.
Steve Bannon blew the trumpet. Because remember, Steve Bannon, that's my guy. He's the one who blew the trumpet. He's the crusader.
Yes.
He put homie on game.
Yes.
That's
exactly it, bro.
Remember in the Inquisition, what was my dude's name? Thomas Torquemada. He's Torquemada. That's who he is.
Oh, he's Torquemada. Straight up and down.
Torquemada, bro.
Yeah.
So when you say that they're still carrying on, no, they're like, yo, in this reincarnation, in this epoch, in this era, this shit is still up. They know that.
Bro. Bro. We say in the Moorish science of America, we measure time by cycle ages. In other words, history is cyclical, people. It's patterns, right? Now, that being said, we're reading these old biblical stories and thinking that that's not happening now, right? Herod knew when Jesus was about to be born, didn't he?
He did. He definitely did.
Come on, people.
That's crazy.
Come on.
No, I need that passage right there, because that's going right in my in Sunday's lecture. That's it right there. I'm trying to point out. I'm going to show proof that this man and his administration, who you might as well say is the same people running this game. If you say, damn, if Biden ain't running the show and Kamala definitely ain't running the show, well, who's steering things in the Capitol? And who's running the show?
Who's running the
show?
No
further, right? I would say to look no further. You know, if he's not running the show, he's definitely in the room with whoever is.
Oh, he absolutely, brother. Okay, Biden himself said this not that long ago, and he said it loudly and proudly. Biden said Israel is so important and so necessary that if it didn't exist, we would have to invent it.
Right.
Why, people? Because the Zionist state of Israel is the anchor for global European imperialism.
Right.
That's why.
Right.
That's why they can blatantly be hypocritical about its policy towards Israel. I'm talking about the United States, can be blatantly hypocritical about policy towards the United States and Palestine, and be just the opposite when it comes to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Keep in mind, these are the same people, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen.
Come on, same
Same exact people. The Ukrainians and the
Same
people
people.
over there are the same people. That's the
That's
same
a fact.
bloodline,
That's a fact.
right?
That's
So these are some tweets from Elon, just him showing, his fragility.
Mm.
He said people who have been lifelong Democrats refuse to accept the clear reality that the Democratic Party is rapidly becoming openly anti-Semitic. This trend is accelerating, not slowing down. Knock, knock. Hello, Captain Obvious here.
Wow.
Right.
Who said that,
So,
bro?
Elon Musk today, I
People
guess.
look really stupid, bro.
Right. So
They make
somebody
people
said you
really
are
dumb.
gaslighting on a mass scale to defend the indefensible genocide. This is what you will be remembered for.
Woo.
And then somebody said you turned out to be one evil MF. And then another person said, yesterday you gave a standing ovation to a man who removed rights from Jewish people, locked them in their homes, forced them to take lethal injections, and then made them show papers to go to a restaurant. Weird way to oppose anti-Semitism, Captain Obvious. So on his own platform, X, where he said he's championed First Amendment and all kind of other stupid stuff.
Right.
People are seeing him for who he truly is. He's a shill, I'm talking about.
Yes, he is,
the whole time. And it's just beautiful to see the expose
right.
themselves.
Right. Well, that's the other part too. Satan divided against himself can't stand.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
And that's another thing too I want to bring up. There is no singular deep state, people. They're fighting against themselves at that level too.
That is a fact.
That's real.
Very much so.
Yes, sir.
Don't think it's just peaches and cream, right? And they in some room giving each other high fives and
right. Yeah.
Nah, that ain't how it works.
Not how it works. That's a fact.
But what I do know is that the Crusaders are crusading, and they are joining forces. They are revealing themselves.
Yes.
They are, because even with the woke mind virus, that is a pushback against what they would consider to be the Moors as well.
Well, okay, just like what I had mentioned earlier about replacement theory and how they'll say immigrants, yes. but Trump's base is not killing immigrants.
That's right.
All right, it's the same thing. The whole wokeism is the new N-word, people.
Right.
It is. It's a new N-word.
It's just a new N-word.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It covers so many different factions and bases and identities. Right. It's applicable, right. To a lot of shit.
That's right.
DEI must die. The point was to end discrimination, not replace it with different discrimination.
Hold on. That's another one. That's another new N-word. DEI higher. It's another new N-word.
Excuse me, Sharif. That's your name? We were just wondering, were you sent here from DEI?
Right.
Is that why we know you?
Exactly.
Did you not earn this position, sir?
Right.
So yeah, they snatching all wallets. They taking back, They snatching chains. They snatching your chain wallet. They undoing your ascot. What's that called? The ascot? The thing that tied around your neck?
That's right. Prophet Drew Ali said it this way. He said, one day in his dry humor, one day, because he was a Capricorn, January 8th, he said, one day the European is going to let you down. You're going to have to store up a 90-day supply of food until your brothers from the East come to rescue you.
Costco's. Y'all better go to Costco's. They got them packs.
That's right.
They do. I heard for $99. There's a whole lot of meals in there. Go get I would just go get that out of Costco's, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm telling you.
Before they start canceling your DEI subscription. Like, How many people got in Sam's Club because of DEI, because of George Floyd? We're taking all of that back. So, you know, Noble Drew Ali spoke about a beggar nation, and he warned the Moors never to become that.
That's real, bro.
And
That's a fact.
That's a fact, right?
Fact, bro.
And we got to see over the course of 4 years how they carry and how they deal with a beggar nation, right?
Yeah.
They purposely took back every little thing that they gave. They locked up everybody that was on a PPP loan scam.
Ooh,
They backtracked on all promises. They rolled back all programs. They canceled all subscriptions and changed the Wi-Fi on Negroes that they had that they were coddling.
He said change the Wi-Fi.
That they were coddling, and they were basically, you know, nourishing or nurturing the angry black man and woman during the uprising in 2020.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct, bro. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. That's a fact.
So they're Indian giving. They're embarrassing. They're using, you know, they uplifted a whole group of people only to pull the legs from under the table. And it's unfortunate, but I promise you, a lot of people who became entrepreneurs in 2020, because there was a mega shift that took place that, you know, a lot of people used to look down on me and the vendors on 125th Street. Do you remember that era, good brother?
Of course I do. Of course I do. When you could actually make a real living on 125.
When we were working for ourselves and we were selling our own products. You remember Kings County, the t-shirts?
Of course. Remember Kings County. Remember, man, listen, bro. I remember when our good brother Hakeem Bey was out there selling books.
Woo! The Moorish, is that the Moorish Journal?
Moorish Paradigm.
The Moorish Paradigm. Yes. Libraries, y'all. I'm talking about, this ain't no regular one rack of books. We're talking about hundreds of titles when there was no Amazon.com and none of that stuff.
Right.
And we were being entrepreneurial in our endeavors, and to see how it has exploded to where so many people learned that they could basically, you know, chase their dreams and become be their authentic selves. Right? They didn't have to code switch. They could, you know, they could rock their hair the way they wanted to. They could wear their oils and shit. You know what I mean? They could do what they want. Yeah. That's a lot of post 2020 stuff. So a lot of those people were able to dodge that bullet. But my brothers and sisters in corporate, they did a real big you know, bait and switch is the play that I seen.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir.
Bait and switch.
Bait and switch game. That's right, Mo.
So now they got people at jobs in fear, feeling uncomfortable, feeling like they're gonna be targeted, and they're cleaning up these departments.
But the people are too polarized by their fear to leave.
Oh yeah.
They're too polarized by their fear to do what the pills did.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No.
Nah.
No. That goes back to what we said before about that heaven. Everybody thinks that's just add water or microwavable.
Sure. Right. Right. You feel me? Right. Plug and play. They think it's plug and play.
Right. Right.
It's like if you had to do the things, if you had to survive the shit that I survived to get to the part of the mountain that I'm on, I don't know if you could do it.
Bro, you remember the one situation where with NYPD? Remember?
Yeah. You feel me? Like what?
Yo. You know?
Yeah,
crazy.
You gotta be on the front lines.
Y'all been through some things. You and Blue been through some things, bro.
Yeah, we've been through some things. We've been through that fire, you know, and you know, that's why I tell everybody it doesn't matter. I'm prepared for any. I don't put my energy. I don't
Mm,
put my spirit, and I'm
mm,
damn sure not putting my emotions in no
right,
selection, no
right.
election, or no. I need this person to win, or I need this person to win. No, I need to win.
Brother,
You know
I'm
what I'm
so
talking
glad you
about?
said that.
I need to win. I need me and my team to win. I
Yep.
need me and my teachers to win. That's what I need. It
See,
don't matter
here's the thing.
who's, huh?
Here's the thing, bro. A lot of our people who consider themselves conscious will pay lip service to the whole, yeah, down with Babylon until they see Babylon falling.
Right. Or and right. Even when they see Babylon's fangs,
Yeah.
at this
Ooh.
point, they're not even that scared anymore. They used to.
Right.
They've been they
Right.
got a Netflix account. They've been watching
Right.
all of these serial killers.
Right.
They used to the fangs, right?
Yeah, they're used to
But
it.
when they
Exactly.
see it falling, though,
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
so for those
Because it
who see the
literally means that you're going to have to push away from the laptop and stand up.
right, right,
You know, people laughed at Kings County, clothing, but in the next couple of years, y'all going to be like, yeah, we can't buy
right,
clothes anymore. We going
right.
we can't do it the way we're used to doing it. We can't do it the way that we were brought up doing it. See,
Mm,
everybody talks that thing about change until change comes.
right.
Then they have to face the fact that they were more invested in the foolery than they would allow themselves to believe.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Because if you're the herald of change, that means you're responsible for the change.
Mm,
If I can point at something and say something's wrong, I've just elected myself to help fix it.
that's right. That is a fact.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that is a fact.
If I wasn't and if I'm just and I'm honest with myself and I'm just with my words, if I wasn't about fixing it, I should have kept my mouth shut.
Mm,
See? I should have kept my mouth shut. The pills saw a gap in services, and what did they do? They got to work and fill the gap.
yes, indeed. Yeah,
What
definitely.
happened?
That's what happened.
Elon Musk says his transgender son was killed by woke mob. Man, this guy's crazy.
You know, that's how fanatic he is.
That's how, with his own flesh and blood. He picked
That's
an
what I'm saying.
agenda over his own flesh and
Flesh
blood.
and blood. So the denial is eating them.
And
Feel
it
me?
also, but guess what else it shows you? It shows you they'll eat their own young to preserve their narrative.
They will eat their own young family. So the audio on this,
Yeah,
for everybody who shows up on Sunday, you'll see the videos that we have.
yeah,
For some reason, it's not playing, and I'm not forcing it because this is YouTube.
no
So
doubt.
Spirit might just be protecting me.
For sure.
So this is the new slogan because I'm going to show you in a minute that there's over 100 slogans
Mm, mm.
that our people are connected to in this trauma paradigm or this fear paradigm, you know, that exists, this pain body that melanated people collectively have,
And dear
that they
brother Red
have.
Pill,
Mhm.
the social media is feeding it.
Oh, it is.
It's
The social
feeding
media
it.
is a bonfire.
You'll remember, people,
It's an organ.
terrorism is socio-political based violence.
Socio-political based.
That's what it is. And
And
guess what?
war is 90% what?
Oh yeah, you already know.
Propaganda.
Propaganda. Now, to that point, terrorism is not for the people that get killed. It's for the people that survive. It's for
Mm,
the people watching. That's who it's meant to harm. It's not
mm.
meant to harm the people that get killed.
Right. Those are the collateral. That's the cannon fodder.
Look, think
Those are the
about it.
ones
What
who
you just
initiate
said,
the
brother.
ritual, the blood.
There you go. Think about what you just said. There's a list of over 100 sayings attributed to the collective pain body of our people.
Slogans, affirmations at this point. And
Woo!
mantras. Not
Woo!
dead ass. They mantras at this point.
Ain't that crazy?
And yeah, these aren't martyrs, y'all.
Right.
So it's not like you calling on saints in a sense. These are not martyrs. Majority of them are not martyrs, right?
Right. Right.
So it's all in the name.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
all in the name, family. We broke down Kamala's name in the last show. We showed you that Kamala and Devi have very powerful, quote unquote, meanings to them.
Yep.
Regardless of how anybody may feel about a person, it doesn't
Right.
take away the fact of who they are in their name, right?
Right.
So this sister's name is a very she has a very powerful name.
Right.
So Sonia is a girl's name with Russian, Ukrainian, and Greek origin that means wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from the Greek name Sophia, which
Sophia.
also means wisdom.
That's right.
In ancient Greek mythology, Sophia was a goddess of wisdom, intelligence, and skill,
That's a
right?
fact.
And then the last name Massey has multiple origins and meanings. In British, it means the gift of God.
Mm.
It is a diminutive of the Hebrew name Matthew.
Mm.
Okay. It could also be spelled Macy or Massey.
In Gnosticism, in old world Gnosticism, the name Sophia, or how they pronounced it then, Sophia, was also a reference to Mother Earth herself.
Right. Okay. So this sister is the story has a lot of twists and turns to it.
Mm-hmm.
She has a 4-year-old cousin that was unalive right before she was unalive.
Right before she was.
Right. And there was both police involved shootings.
That's a fact.
I'm not going to show the actual shooting. I don't want to, trigger anyone. And I'm not going to be a part of that, quote unquote. I don't share snuff films.
Right, bro.
Right. I don't do that. But I will show the videos where people are talking about what took place. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The sister was in a mental institution that the officer's wife worked at.
Ooh.
The officer has a relative that's the chief of police, right? So this officer may have been personally stalking the sister. Now, it was said that this sister has a relative that was lynched many, many years ago.
Mm.
And what I know about these small towns and law enforcement, especially the fact that the Ku Klux Klan are a part of their police forces.
Yep.
They always keep a dib and a tab on the family members, and they gang stalk them, and they also take them out.
Let me tell you, I know this goes on in LA, like it's well known in LA, but in other police agencies, I know they do it. I know they do it. I know of other ones that they do this in. The officer shares snuff films and snuff pictures of shooting victims.
Oh man, they got books of that.
Yes,
they have books of that. I had the pleasure, and when I was a teenager, I had a girl that I was dating.
Yeah.
Her father worked on the force, and she showed me a picture book. Remember back in the days before Instagram, they had the photo albums.
And photo albums, that's right.
It was a photo album of all of the scenes where he basically was taking pictures, and I don't even want to talk about what I saw, but what it made me do is not play with that girl's heart. You know what I'm talking about? I was on point after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because she was treating it natural. Like it wasn't like a thing to her. And I looked in the book and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So they have Reddit pages. They have pages on the dark. They have rooms on the dark web. I shared this before. There's a page. There's rooms where you can see every single video of a rapper being unalive. Like all of this, you know, it's a collective of all the surveillance, crime scene photos, all of the gruesome, because you know, hundreds. I mean, hundreds and hundreds, nonstop. So for groups of people who feed off of that,
Yes.
and groups of people who, you know, ritualistically unalive messiahs or
Right.
messianic ones, and they
Right.
hedge bets against the messiah not growing into full term.
Mm.
These are their altars. Okay, this is where the foundation, this is where the chaos magic, this is where a lot of the spells, this is where a lot of the quote unquote spirit cooking is
Yep.
coming from.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
that's her son. As you
Yep.
can see the resemblance, you
Wow.
know, he don't look like he's gonna forgive the officer. That's a good
No.
thing.
No.
She
No.
has a father in her life. He's articulate,
Yep.
and you know, he's speaking up for her,
Yes, he is.
you know.
Yes, he is.
So we see a pattern, and it's a pattern that we will not ignore. They use cadavers, or they use ritualists. They use dead bodies in this Masonic ritual, right? They don't use nobody alive. You
Wow.
cannot garner sympathy, empathy, and the type of food that they're feasting on alive people. Have to
No.
be unalive. You have to be sacrificed. You have to be sent up to their deity or their
Right.
quote unquote entity.
Right.
So 2012, and these are handpicked, right? These cases are taking place every day.
Mhm.
They activate their media apparatus and they do their quote unquote rituals, right?
Right.
And this is one of the latest ones. But once again, fear of a black or more messiah. Some of our people are messiahs. They have messianic forces.
Yes,
So
sir.
when things like this do happen, they become martyrs. They become the ones who are on the cross. They become like Emmett Till was,
Mm.
the symbol of things that have to change, right? So you can't keep killing every single one of us.
Right.
Imagine if they were to shoot Henrietta Lacks in the face. Even if people
Wow.
didn't know her, just the word of that taking place is reverberating on the subtle energy planes on the spirit realm. Your spirit and your is telling you, nah, they
That's
took
real.
an angel down.
That's real.
So just in her name alone,
Right.
just in her name alone, without you seeing a picture of her, if I
Correct.
would just, her name introduces her before she walks in the room. I could
Before she
Google
walks in the room.
her name the same way that anybody else could.
That's right.
And they've, as you can see, I don't have to convince you of it. They've ritualistically hunted our people down. We are being lynched by people who are, like Taj said,
Yep.
you know, the Intercatera Divina.
Yep.
Like this is still the quote unquote crusades. And you just
It's
pointed
still.
out one of their generals, Stephen Bannon, has said it on many occasions in many interviews. He's clearly said what this is.
He's doing exactly what I read from that book about him. He's identifying the threat.
Right.
He's saying what it is,
What it
people.
right.
He's saying, and so to your point, Brother Red Pill, about old Moorish history, that's a missing narrative in our people's history. If you don't
Right.
know that history, you can't make sense of what you see in today on CNN and on Fox.
You cannot make sense of it. It will go right over your head. It
Like
does
you
not
just said,
register.
what we're looking at, and even on the screen right now, you're looking at a record of lynching. But if you,
This is
and
all
then
right.
you mentioned Torquemada. Torquemada initiated the Spanish Inquisition.
Right.
Lynching is a
Lynching.
continuation of the Inquisitions,
Inquisition.
people.
Thank you. Thank you. And I was also sharing with somebody that the act of unaliving children and
Yes.
women, that comes from the Trail of Tears, that
Yep.
comes from all of the Indian quote unquote the killings, the all of the you know, just those mass murders, that those massacres They were
Absolutely.
taking place across the plains and across all type of indigenous aboriginal land and whatnot. They were
Correct.
taking out, yes. So what you see in the colonies or in the places like Is It Real, where they are undergoing a genocide and a Holocaust,
Right.
they studied and copied over here. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
They
Yes.
they they they're all learning from each other.
They're learning
So
from each other.
it won't come to no surprise that that officer was trained by the IDF. But in
Oh, bro.
2012,
That's a bro.
right, we got
Yes.
Trayvon Martin. In
Yes.
2016, we got Alton Sterling.
Yep.
In 2020, they
George
gave us
Floyd.
George Floyd. Now, I remember how the energy was able to pivot and shift
Yeah.
because when they politicized George Floyd, our people, once again, who were not a part of the theater production, we were
Right.
not plugged in, we were not quote unquote locked in to this
Right.
presidential thing. I
Right.
remember it happened on Memorial Day weekend. So
Mhm.
this was earlier than where we are now in July. This
Yes.
happened in May, and they
Yes.
set it off and it went all the way into July, and then they politicized it, and that was the wave that old stinking ass Joe rolled into the White House. Because this baffles me. People are like, yo, Kamala Harris locks up mad brothers in Oakland, and she was, a harsh
Prosecutor.
prosecutor. I'm like,
Yep.
damn. So, yeah. So, what about Joe Biden with the crime bill?
Right. With the come on.
She is.
Come
Bro,
on.
are you dumb? Like,
Right.
she's child's play compared to what he did.
Compared to what he did.
Do you know how long homie been in the I mean, bro, the level of, like I said, I was watching the State of the Union. He had an
Right.
80-year-old face with 40-year-old hands. He's
Right.
done. Wherever he's at, he's in the freezer, he's in a meat free low. That's not a good man right there. I'm
Nope.
tired of people standing up for him. Like, dude is honorable and whatnot.
Right.
He's a grand dragon.
Yeah. No, the bottom line, bro. He just talks nicer than 45. That's it.
He don't even talk. I think
Right.
his whole thing is on a cosign. Like his
That's
whole
real.
ride.
You're right.
Yeah, he
You're
don't
right.
even talk. People don't know who they talking to. They
They
don't
don't know
know
who they're
his track
talking to.
record.
Right. They don't
Son
know who
is
they're talking
he's a dragon.
Right. They
But
don't know that.
anyway,
That's
these
right.
names that we see right here, right?
Yeah.
These are all different names, but these four names right here: Trayvon Martin, Alton Sterling, George Floyd, Sonia Massey. Keep in mind, with all of these other names, these four are special for one reason and one reason only.
Mm-hmm.
These were the ones that were handpicked and selected to be what? To be politicized.
Politicized, bro.
Okay, to be politicized.
Right.
During political campaigning.
Yes.
This is something that they do, but it
Yes.
has something to do with a messianic energy because they can't politicize and they can't charge something that's not already charged.
Correct.
They cannot do that with a person who is not breathing anymore.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's right.
They'll show you a picture of that person and then give you their name. And that shit sparks something in our people, bro.
Right.
And it doesn't happen with every single one of these people who are getting quote unquote lynched.
That's right.
So there's something about this sister Sonia, right? That is that's attracting people to her spirit, to her messianic spirit.
Correct.
You feel me? There's something about her smile. She is a doppelganger of our good sister. Her and Sandra Bland
come on.
They're twinning one another. They're both from Illinois. I believe they may both be the same sign.
Wow.
Right? And I'm gonna show you a picture with them next to each other. There's a striking resemblance.
There is a striking resemblance.
Striking resemblance. Okay. So, you know, the good brother did a video. There you go. Like I said, Neanderthal, right?
Race soldier. Race soldier.
Race shoulder. All you gotta do is put the red suit on him and whatnot. That's how he lifeless.
Yeah.
Right. He looks like a walk-in. Right.
Right. Right.
Just you feel me? Like
right.
these
right.
are just
right.
They make these in Pottery Barn. You know what I mean? And just breathe. This is a golem right here.
He's a golem.
Straight up. This is a golem right here.
A golem, he said. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Wow.
Straight sociopath. But that's what they say. Donald Trump is going to give immunity to them. Right. So that's the fear mongering. But the programming is already taking place.
Yes.
You can't unfear yourself.
Right.
You could tap into the information and you could protect yourself from being put in a fear paradigm.
Right.
But you can't unfear yourself. And I'm not necessarily talking to the people on this show, because I would say that we are one step ahead of the people. I'm talking about the people.
Yes. Correct.
I'm talking about my timeline. I can't stop my timeline. That shit was flooded with the snuff film.
It's crazy, bro.
Crazy. And it didn't take but one day.
Right.
It went super viral.
Yep.
And I remember when they were sent, when the snuff films were coming out. I remember when George Floyd went super viral. I remember when Mike Brown. Mike Brown? He was the one who really said it in a way. Well, Eric Garner with the "I Can't Breathe."
Mike Brown, like, I don't have a gun. Stop shooting me.
Right.
Sheesh, man.
So here are some of the quote unquote mantras that they've attributed to this new lynch class of Blackamoor messiahs. Right. So once again, let's look at it through our Moorish lenses. Let's look at it through our metaphysical spectacles, right? We're talking about the mythos.
Yes, sir.
And we're speaking about the power of the word.
Right.
And we're talking about spiritual warfare.
That's right.
And we're talking about fear of the Blackamoor messiahs.
Actual fact.
So the fact that I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, right? Is the top slogan out of all of these words. This is now getting spiritual. Because she tapped into, and remember, that same place in Illinois is where the cross of the X during the eclipse, this will be pointed out on Sunday, it tapped into that same city right there. Right. So we're identifying the fact that portals have been opened up, seals have been broken, veils have been lifted. There are entities that are walking this planet now, and they're walking in the persona of people. Okay, people are possessed. So you can feel it, you can hear it, you can see it if you have eyes that can see. You can see it in people. The level of atrocities, just in the way that people are murdering one another today, is unlike anything that I've ever seen. There's clear evidence that the quote unquote day walkers or the night walkers are walking in the day.
Exactly. Come on.
I've never seen so many beheadings. I've never seen so many dismemberments. I pointed out in the last lecture that there was a trend of melanated women going on dates with these same people that look like homie and getting unalive, and then they were dismembering them. Right? They were dismembering them. This was a ritual. You don't dismember somebody without ritualizing that. That's a ritual. Okay.
You just said something that was powerful, right? Like you said, I got goosebumps, bro. You said the day walkers. Y'all realize that the Daywalker, our brother Wesley Snipes, played on screen the first supercell on screen?
The first supercell.
Daywalker, bro. Daywalker. How they describe him in the movie? All of the benefits of the vampires and none of the weaknesses.
None of the weaknesses, right? Yes, Blade.
Yep.
Feel me?
You mentioned the number one slogan, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
Listen.
That has to be, that is going to be a war mantra, right? Melanated women are going to adopt that. No, they're going to weaponize that. They're going to consecrate that, and they're going to use that as their shield and their armor.
But brother,
it is not. Yes.
When you mentioned earlier about putting on our metaphysical lenses, putting on our spiritual lenses, putting on our Moorish eyes.
Yes.
I want to share something from the doctrine of the Moorish Science Symbol of America with the viewers. In our questionnaire, we say, what does the name Jesus mean? The answer is Jesus means justice. See? And then in our literature, it says, Jesus himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa.
Right.
See? It says, his teachings were not accepted by the rulers and neither the rich. So that's when you say Jesus, man, you better be ready.
Right. And her Jesus and his Jesus are not the same.
They're
Jesus.
not the same.
And somebody said that her saying it didn't work. It did work because he killed her. It did work. You're not understanding what was taking place. It did work.
They have a chopped and screwed Jesus.
Chop.
Yeah. They got that, but and now, which brings up another point. Why did they have to take our brother Jesus and chop and screw him? Because there's a mystery in the teaching of Jesus that empowers our people. And as we talk about mythos, there's a mystery in Jesus that touches us at the deepest core of our psyche. So they hijacked and flipped and bounced Jesus so they could master the original man.
And then watered him down.
Right.
Anglicized him and took away the power. But I rebuke you in the name of the Christos, the Black Christos.
Come on.
The Christos Negros.
Come on.
You know? It's going to force our women, especially, to identify what Jesus are you talking about?
Which one are you talking about?
Which one are you talking about? Is it his? Right. Is it the evangelical one? Which one is it? The Roman one?
Right.
Who is it? You should know.
Right.
And you should really begin to really think.
Is it the one that got spiritually grafted and then reinserted back into your psyche?
Right. Right. Because I'm not going to disrespect the nanas out there, and these powerful women who are tapped into what they say is Jesus, and it might be a European on that wall, but ain't nobody gonna tell me in their hearts of hearts, and they know who they talking to, and they know who they summoning, and they just a part of that generation where they wouldn't dare put a melanated man on that wall, but they know who the Christos is, and they've gotten the instructions from mouth to ear. You feel me?
Right.
So them women that are in them traditions, you know what I'm talking about. The brujas and others who get busy. If they say I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, just know I know who they're talking about. And it ain't the ops Jesus.
It's not the ops.
It ain't the
ops.
That's
a fact, bro. That's a fact. Yo, so brother, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. That's so real. And to the listeners, man, please take heed to what Red Pill just said. We do not want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No, we don't.
Nah, we do not.
No, we don't. That. I'm not one. I'm. I don't rock with it like that.
Right. Remember what you said in the beginning of this whole show about who the Christ really is. or what the Christ is.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? What the
Yes.
Christ is. See?
What the Christ is. Exactly. You got to identify what the Christ is.
Come on.
Let me read these words.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? These are words. These are words. These are words, ladies and gentlemen, gods and goddesses, Moors and Moabites. Right? These are mantras. We don't shame, nor do we stop saying the names of the ones who ultimately will be the ones who come back for their justice. You know, they are names that should be remembered. And for the martyrs amongst them, I'll point that out. Okay. Sonia Massey, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. George Floyd, I can't breathe. Eric Gardner, I can't breathe. Michael Brown, I don't have a gun. Stop shooting. Philando Castile, I wasn't reaching for it. Breonna Taylor, why did you shoot me? Freddie Gray, I need a doctor. Tamir Rice, it's not real. Oscar Grant, you shot me. I got a 4-year-old daughter. Laquan McDonald, no audible last words. Shot while walking away. Elijah McClain, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I'm just different. That's all. I'm so sorry. I have no gun. I don't do that stuff. I don't do any fighting. Why are you attacking me? It's a lot. I don't even want, I'm not going to be able to go through the whole 100s.
Bro, that's almost as emotionally and energetically, that's almost as heavy as watching the snuff films.
Right. This is a source of power for the alchemists amongst us. You should screenshot this. You know, these words, these last words that will, you know, became a person's whole life become a slogan. Right. This is what they do to us.
Right.
But
we don't want to feed. But to your point earlier, we don't want to use these words to feed our fear bodies.
At all. At all. This is for power up. You know what I'm saying? This is for tapping in. This is when you, the same way that when Bobby had us calling the ancestors and we call the name of these ancestors and we tap in.
Right.
Okay. Because they are still walking amongst us and they feel no pain and they will be summoned and they will not be forgotten. That's the real tragedy, is to forget their names and to shame them and not say their names. Sandra Bland, Stephon Clark, Botham Jean, Walter Scott, Alton Sterling. Okay. So Amadou Diallo.
Right.
Sean Bell. It's so many names.
So many,
and,
bro.
Yeah.
So many.
So many names. You know what I'm saying? So many
These
mantras.
are lynchings. These are lynchings, people.
Straight up. Straight like that. Straight lynchings, right?
These are lynchings.
They're not putting you on trees anymore. We live in the age of the Iron Age. They're just shooting. And that's the only difference.
Right, bro.
You know?
That's the only difference.
So this is what the fear is anchored in, right? This is the fear mongering campaign.
Yes, it is.
This is going to be about stopping this from becoming that reality, because this is going to be a talking point. This is like, you know, if we got to deal with this, then imagine what we'll be dealing with when those monsters have immunity from prosecution.
Come on.
So now we're talking about a hit squad.
You're literally talking about it, bro. Oh my goodness. So Torquemada, if you do the knowledge on Torquemada,
right?
His henchmen that pulled his off, that really got their hands bloody. Guess what they were called, bro? What he called them?
What's that?
He called them La Hermandad. The Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood. Yes.
That's what he called them. They were called La Hermandad.
La Herman died.
like the
So
Fraternal
people,
Order of Police.
right. So people bring up the whole Kamala Harris record and with the marijuana arrest and everything. But on the Trump side, right,
Come on.
for the proverbial niggas for Trump,
Right.
what he's about to do is he's about to do triple to whatever she did. And he's doing this.
Easily.
Yeah, he's doing this on a national scale, right?
Right.
So he's promising immunity from prosecution. Then he's going to militarize. He's going to reincarcerate thousands, and he's expanding the death penalty. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for anybody that keeps bringing up these talking points about Kamala's record, right?
Right.
I hear you. You are, I hear you. You cool,
Right.
but bring up his too. Like bring
Bring it
up
up.
what he's right. Bring up everything. Don't just
Yes.
bring her up. Bring up what he's planning on doing, right?
Yes.
The minute he gets in,
Yes.
where he has a chip on his shoulder this time around.
And he really has a chip on his shoulder. Now, to that point, you brought one of the slides, one of the articles, militarizing police. We're desensitized. A lot of us are desensitized to really understanding what that really means. Police are not military. Right. But we know now, if you've been paying attention, for at least the past 20 years, municipal law enforcement agencies across the country have been buying up military equipment like crazy. They've already been preparing for this.
Right.
They've already been preparing for it. They're buying military equipment left and right and have been doing so for over 20 years. Police power or police function is not military function.
Right.
Police function is public safety.
Public safety.
Military function is kill the enemy and take ground.
Right. And they've merged the two.
Yes. 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 Now, so follow me. In Iraq, during the first Iraqi war, the greatest amount of casualties that the United States military incurred wasn't when they went in as military doing military work, because military work was, hey, we're here for this is the war. You're out on the street, we're killing you. We don't care what it is. We don't care who it is. We're going to kill you. Brother, their greatest, the spike in military casualties on the side of the U.S. came when they already subjugated Iraq, and they said, now we're acting as police. Now we're the military, but now we're here as a police function.
A police force, right.
So reverse that in the hood, and that's what you're going to see with this.
Damn.
Right.
Right. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the facts. According to Trump's campaign, there is no higher priority than quickly restoring law and order and public safety in America. But just as it was during President Richard Nixon's 1968 campaign against the war on drugs, law and order under a second Trump administration is a shorthand message promising repression of the Black community. Specifically, Trump's law enforcement policies call for further protections for abusive police, including condoning the use of force against protesters, which he once described as a beautiful thing to watch. This rhetoric risks encouraging state actors to take similar brutal approach. Beyond rhetoric, however, Trump is also likely to immediately rescind President Joe Biden's 2022 executive order on policing. Doing so would eviscerate one of the most substantial federal actions on police reform since George Floyd murder and roll back important changes to use of force standards, including restrictions on chokeholds and carotid restraints. These expected policies will have an outsized impact on marginalized communities, especially in the Black community, which is far more likely to experience police abuse. We also know that a second Trump administration intends to deputize local law enforcement to aid an unprecedented mass deportation effort that will decimate communities, right?
Jesus, man.
So when they implement the mass deportation, that means door to door, knocking.
Oh.
Let me see your ID, all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
Mhm.
Yo.
So when we
how,
say,
how was it Project Prodigy that said it? Is you knowing what you facing?
is you know what you're facing. So when we say Project Fear, ladies and gentlemen, what we're speaking of is, informing oneself about what's being planned
Mm,
and not just sitting around waiting for things to happen, but getting in front of it and being able to put together some plans so you're not caught in the middle of this quote unquote dog and pony show.
brother, can you
Now,
please explain this slide? This is a mean slide right
man, this is when it gets
here.
interesting, right? This is when it get interesting, okay?
It's a mean slide.
Because they always say follow the money, right? You could
Yes.
speculate on when things are happening, but
Right.
when you follow the money, then you realize, nothing is by happenstance, and there's no I never met nobody that mistakenly made $1 billion
Right. Not
or a
by
million
mistake.
dollars. Like I don't nobody just, purposely fell into a bag. You know what I mean?
No.
That just don't happen,
Right.
So everything is planned.
Right.
So a George Soros and BlackRock linked Texas based investment company, right? Austin Private Wealth LLC
Mm,
has denied trying to short sell 12 million shares of Trump Media and Technology Group in the
mm,
hours before the failed assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Okay. Now, Elon is in Austin. Joe Rogan and all of them, that whole Austin scene is real big
right.
with these with these QAnon, deep state, and all of those type of people. I think Alex Jones is in Austin, right?
Yes.
So somebody is linked to something in this Austin private wealth, right? So they basically hedged a bet against Donald Trump. That's what shorting a stock means, ladies and gentlemen. You could basically put some money against a company by betting that it's going to fall in
Oh,
value, right?
that's right.
So short selling is the practice of borrowing shares and selling them in the hopes the price will go down. When the
Mm,
share value drops, the borrower can buy the shares back at a new lower price, profiting from the price difference. Note that this is often only done on paper, something called a put option, which gives the aspiring short seller the right to do all this after the expected market crash.
mm.
Put options themselves can be packaged and sold as derivatives because capitalism is basically just gambling with IOUs, but for rich people who know things. The day
Yes.
before the assassination attempt, Austin Private Wealth made a filing with the Security and Energy Commission for a put option on 12 million shares of dollar
Jeez.
sign DJT, which is enormous.
Brother, you
Almost
just you know what you're doing right now, right? Yo.
almost as enormous as certain trades made
Yo.
on the morning of 9/11.
Yo.
Had Trump died, the stock value would have plummeted and Austin would have made up to an estimated $1 trillion in profit. So we're
Yo,
going to call
that's
that the $1 trillion bag.
yo, bro. Do me. You got to do me a favor, Mo. You got to screenshot that and send that to me, please.
Okay. I'm
That's
going to do that right now.
crazy.
Yeah, that's real crazy, right?
That's crazy. Wow.
And on Sunday, I'm gonna go down the BlackRock wormhole, right? So I'm gonna break this down. I give this woman right here credit for her research because I got
Mm,
my research from her.
yes.
but we're gonna go into the top. People talking about that's voting
Deep state.
for.
Right.
They talk about deep state and they talk about voting for a president
Right.
for the corporation, and I'm like,
Right.
that's cute and everything,
Yep.
but we're gonna have a grown conversation on Sunday about who really runs this thing,
Come on, bro.
and
We're gonna start
how this
talking. We're gonna
thing is.
talk. We're gonna add the S to the word election.
Right. We're going to go to selection, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we'll show you how all of these boards, right,
Mm.
have all of these quote unquote people on it from the deep state. You know what I mean?
Right.
And how BlackRock runs and owns all of these companies by being the biggest shareholder
Yep.
across the board on about 98% of these quote
Mm.
unquote big companies. These are $1 trillion and $1 billion and $1 million companies, right?
Right.
So they stack their boards with insiders at companies in all the other industries they are symbiotic to. But money tells the truth. So who is Chevron actually symbiotic to? And
Right.
this is from my dude, canceltheclothingcompany.com. He's
Mm-hmm.
kind of lit on TikTok. I follow him. He
Yes.
did a fire presentation, and it gave me mad information that I needed. He gave me a lot of
Mm.
gems was shared, and he broke the code. He really broke in, and I'll be expanding on this on Sunday. I'm going down a rabbit hole, and I'm going to show you how BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street basically run
Whew.
not just all of America. Please, they run all of this. They run this whole show, and they run it through the power of the voting rights on the boards. Right? They sit at the boards, and they're able to vote everything in because they are the majority shareholders.
Yes, sir.
But they've done that. They doing that with your money. Anybody that's
For
in the
sure.
401k business,
For
remember
sure.
these are investment banks. They're using your money
That's
to
right.
become the most powerful companies on the planet.
Mm. That's fact.
So you could go right here, cancel this clothingcompany.com/resources, and there's a whole bunch of downloads, free downloads. You could get PowerPoints, spreadsheets, and all of that, giving you all of the brands that are owned. They show you the spreadsheet of the shares that are owned. This
Mm.
is a very interesting interview right here, where basically, once again, they were trying to do an appeal to hip hop and had a dude from Complex named Speedy interviewing
Right.
Joe Biden before he dropped out and whatnot. And
Right.
Joe Biden is up there saying, all type of pro-Zionistic, anti-Palestinian things. He's
Yes.
not being challenged because dude doesn't really know what to say,
Right.
but he's sounding crazy though. So
Mm.
he on his show he said he's a Zionist. He said you don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist,
Which is
and
true.
which is very true. That's why I'm saying there's more Zionists over here than there are there's almost equal numbers of Zionists in America. That's
Yes.
why you're seeing a lot of things taking place over there because they're all one.
And let's just oversimplify it for everybody. A Zionist by I won't even you could say definition. I'll use the word by direct implication.
Right.
A Zionist is one who advocates for European imperialism and
Listen.
colonial settler states. That's that's what they advocate.
Right.
It's just that they've learned in this particular instance with the Bretton Woods Agreement and the 6-Day War in 1948, they purposefully conflate the term Zionist with Semitism.
Right. Right.
That's what they're
So
doing.
these are imperialists,
Bottom
and
line,
they're not afraid to say it.
no.
They're not afraid to say it. They're saying it with a straight face.
Right.
You know, they're like, yo, we're providing them with all of the weapons that they need, billions of dollars. We
Mm-hmm.
don't care. We're supporting a rogue regime.
Right.
We're a war criminal,
Yeah.
and we're gonna keep powdering this thing up until you can see that there's lipstick on a pig.
Bottom
But they're
line.
losing the war of public opinion because it's going to help. It's going to make this thing collapse from within. The rest of the world is already done.
Yes.
They're already finished.
Yes.
It's really about the collapsing from within. They're already done, right? The credit, like, you know, America's face card is done around the world. That shit is washed. You feel
Yes.
me? Yeah, it's washed.
It's
You know,
washed,
it's
bro.
washed. It's done. So it's really just left to the behind the borders of the sheeple inside of America, really, to be honest with you, because everybody else has kind of made their mind up as to what they're looking at and, you know, who is who and what is what. Now, while we're watching these things take place before our very own eyes in these biblical times that we're in, we are having phenomena take place. And one of the phenomena that we've seen taking place is the 3 red heifers have been sent to Jerusalem to be sacrificed.
Yep.
Okay. Netanyahu and his henchmen, they've been making moves on the Al-Aqsa Mosque to prepare for this ceremony and this ritual. To be honest with you, will be it will, I don't know, I'm not gonna say that it will start a world war, but it's going to be met with extreme violence.
Oh yeah, extreme indiscretion, bro.
Extreme indiscretion across multiple waves because of its biblical implications. Once again, separation between church and state.
Yes.
But we have entered into the realms of religious fanaticism, crusades. Understand that this is the Reconquista. This is the Crusades. This is it all over again.
Yeah,
we
all
are
over
back
again.
in that cycle. We are back in that cycle. And what is taking place over there has now visited, because this is right here in America, right here where the flag is being burnt. This is in DC. These are the legions of cannon fodder that they are seeding. So when the right goes to civil war, or when the right starts to purge, or when the right decides that they want to ride out, these are the people that they're seeing right here. They're going to utilize as the cannon fodder. Okay.
Yes.
Because these young kids that are in the fraternities, these Euros, these Nordics, they are Zionists. They're closer to the evangelical Christian Zionism, and they're being taught that if anybody's riding for Gaza, that they're riding for terrorism, they're riding for the destruction of the Christian nation, you know, and they are the quote unquote infidels. So we're just seeing the breeding and the seeding of the great divide.
That's
with all of this propaganda, because like I said, Gaza is the new BLM for white folk, for Europeans, or you know, for the ones who want, I want summer camp. Let's do summer camp with the revolution. That's the new NGO in America. If you don't want to go back to the Sahara, okay, damn. See, this is crazy, yo. It's a shame that we don't got the audio right now. Because these videos was cutting through some things. This video, no, dead ass. These videos was slicing. I need y'all to be in the building on Sunday.
Yes.
I mean, show us that you honor the research. Because when I tell you, me and this man right here is about to go super duper off on Sunday. I don't know.
I already know I'm gonna bring some things, but you got me excited for what you.
This is the warm up. Like we just get we sprinkling the pepper seed. But I promise you, family, we've been in the lab. I've been knee deep. Just the fact that we put this title out here, and the Great Divine Speaks Through Signs has been giving us all of the signs that we need. Like you understand our conversation now when we say fear of a black or more Messiah. And I know fear makes people fearful.
Right.
And it's fight or flight. They don't like the word fear. However, the series Fear of a Black or More Messiah has always been the platform to help people get over their fears. Remember, I first launched it October the 16th, October the 10th on Columbus Day, 2016 at Nicholas, right? And the first Fear of a Black or More Messiah was right before Trump became president. Remember, October the 10th We predicted that he was going to win. November the 5th came, he won.
He
right?
won.
But in our lecture, what we was explaining was the Crusades history, everything about banning, everything that we needed to know was in that lecture. So when people started seeing things go chaotic, and when they started seeing things go upside down in hyperspeed, they was poised like, nah, I know what I'm looking at. I see, yeah. And this thing is unfolding now. Now it unfolds before your eyes versus you were in the movie and you getting, oh my goodness, I wasn't prepared for that.
I wasn't
You
prepared.
getting shocked and awed.
See,
right?
This is why, from a religious organization perspective, this is why it's important. We place so much honor on Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because what does a prophet do? Prophesy. And what is a prophecy? Is somebody whispering in your ear what's about to happen in the next 10 seconds so you can prepare properly. Somebody that whispers in your ear and says, this is what's behind door number 3. So you know ahead of time and you can properly prepare.
That's a fact.
Yes.
That's a fact. Let me go ahead and drop the link for Sunday's event. You can find it, ladies and gentlemen, in the description. And I am going to go into I'm gonna give you a link so you could go there. The food or the clothes. And then I'm gonna also read a description about it. But something that was brought to my attention, and it was really like it blew my mind. It blew my mind because I thought I knew what I knew.
Right.
But I come to find out that I didn't know what I knew because I just found something out today that I never knew. And it really blew my mind. And it forced me to sit back and say, hold on, I got to reevaluate things now because this new information sheds new light on a dark time. So come to find out that Malcolm X, his final, when I say his final written words, his last words that he wrote about was on Zionism.
That's crazy.
And it was omitted from his biographies on multiple occasions, from Maribel, from Haley. But the fact that we did a show with Minister of Information where we broke down that Alex Haley was a government agent and Root was plagiarized, and it wasn't even his story, and he was working for them people, he was omitting information about El Malik Shabazz because he was an agent. So when we come to find out the people that were dealing with our brother's story were not even honorable men like that, then it comes to no surprise that they're leaving out real key points. So check this out. The ongoing genocide in Gaza, coupled with the recent martyrdom anniversary of Malcolm X, has sparked interest in what the renowned activist thought and wrote about Palestine. But a reader of the autobiography of Malcolm X will learn little. Indeed, there is no mention of Malcolm's 1964 trip to Gaza or of his scathing article titled Zionist Logic.
That's crazy.
You could go and pull that up right now. For any one of my mods, go and Google that and drop the link in the chat because it is available on Google. So even acclaimed biographies of Malcolm X, such as Les Payne's The Dead Are Arising and Manning Maribel's A Life of Reinvention, either ignore or brush over the details of Malcolm's visits and writings on Palestine. Maribel goes as far as to claim that Malcolm's perspective on Palestine was merely political opportunism, a stunt aimed at garnering the support of Egyptian President Jamal Abdul Nasser. It is the dismissal and neglect of this crucial part of Malcolm's life that blunts both his burgeoning internationalist perspective and the threat he perceived of Zionism to not only Palestine, but the entire third world. Come on now.
Oh, my goodness.
On September the 5th, 1964, Malcolm X traveled to Gaza, then under the control of Egypt, where he spent 2 days. He visited the Khan Younis refugee camp and a local hospital and mingled with locals and luminaries alike. Amongst these interactions in Gaza, perhaps the most influential was his unplanned encounter with the renowned Palestinian poet Harun Hashim Rashid. Malcolm was visibly moved by the latter's horrific experience and recounting of the Suez Crisis nearly a decade earlier, in which hundreds of Palestinians were murdered by the IDF. Moreover, Malcolm's diary notes indicate his admiration for Rashid's poetry, as he hastily scribbled one of his poems titled, "We Must Return." We must return. No boundaries should exist. No obstacles can stop us. Cry out, refugees. We shall return. Tell the mounts, we shall return. Tell the alley, we shall return. We are going back to our youth. Palestine calls us to arm ourselves, and we are armed and are going to fight. We must return. After his meeting with Rashid, Malcolm met with religious leaders and prayed the congregational night prayer. Noted in his diary that the spirit of Allah was strong in Gaza. The visit to Gaza inspired Malcolm's most famous written piece on Zionism, published in the Egyptian Gazette on September the 17th, 1964. Zionist Logic mounted a scathing critique of Zionism and demonstrated Malcolm's view that it was not only
a threat to Palestine,
but to the wider third world. In his essay, he writes, the Israeli Zionists are convinced that they have successfully camouflaged their new kind of colonialism. Their colonialism appears to be more benevolent, more philanthropic, a system with which they rule simply by getting their potential victims to accept their friendly offers of economic aid and other tempting gifts. And they dangle in front of the newly independent African nations whose economies are experiencing great difficulties.
Yo, can I pause you really quick, brother?
Yes,
can I pause you really quick?
Please.
You see what he's saying right here, right?
Yes, I do.
He's not just talking about Palestine.
Yes, I do. He's talking about them people.
Woo! Okay, keep going.
Thus, the power and influence of the Zionist Israel and many of the newly independent African nations has fast become even more unshakable than that of the 18th century European colonialists. And this new kind of Zionist colonialism differs only in form and method, but never in motive or objective.
Brother, you just described how you just read how he described why today the #1 export out of Israel is diamonds, and they don't got no diamond mines.
They don't got no diamond mines, right? You feel me? And I've been on I've been on Tracks New York case. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's one of the more popular robber barons of them blood diamonds. But they got that damn civil war going down, and the people been feasting on our people ever since Malcolm wrote this damn letter.
That's real. That's real.
So, and keep in mind, he's not saying JEW. He's calling it exactly what it is.
He's calling it what it is.
Right. But people will have you thinking they'll throw you with a red herring and just have you bad mouthing the Jews, and it's not. You know what I'm saying?
That's not what he's doing.
That's a trick bag. That's what gets you. That's what get people caught up.
That's right,
like,
brother.
Damn, you talking about me, bro?
Right.
Here, Malcolm draws parallel with European colonialism and the destruction that it wrought across the third world in the preceding centuries. For Malcolm, Zionism is in inextricably linked to wider European colonialism, the later iteration designed to subdue the third world. To confront this wider colonial endeavor, Malcolm beseeches the leaders and people of the third world to unite together and reject the false overtures of colonial powers. Okay. Um okay. The answer to the final question was typed up on the morning of February the 21st, 1965. It is, to the best of my knowledge, the final document written by Malcolm X, the final document, right? His last writings, and it testifies to his burgeoning internationalist perspective and the threat of Zionism, not only to Palestine, but entire third world. It is reproduced here below. Question: Africa seems to have captured most of your attention and eager concern. Why? And now that you have visited almost every part of it, where do you think Islam actually stands? And what, in your opinion, could be done to save it from both the brainlessness of many, or rather most of those who are considered to be the champions of it cause, and from the malicious, resourceful alliance of Zionism, atheism, and religious fanaticism against Islam? That was the question. His answer: I regard Africa as my fatherland. Let me say that again for my Moors, my Moabites, and everybody else. I regard Africa as my fatherland. Okay. So the Moors consider the Americas the motherland, and they consider Africa the fatherland.
There you
Okay.
go. There you go.
I am primarily interested in seeing it become completely free of outside political and economic influence that has dominated and exploited it. Africa, because of its strategic position, faces a real crisis. The colonial vultures have no intention of giving it up without a fight.
That's real.
Their chief weapon is still divide and conquer. All of those civil wars and shit going on right now. And them same people is behind all of them things.
All of
They
it.
got their hands behind all of them conflicts.
Right.
In East Africa, there is a strong anti-Asian feeling being nourished among the Africans. In West Africa, there is a strong anti-Arab feeling. Where there are Arabs or Asians, there is a strong anti-Muslim feeling. These hostilities are not initiated by the above-mentioned people who are involved. They have nothing to benefit from fighting amongst themselves at this time. Those who benefit most are the former colonial masters who have now supplanted the hated colonialism and imperialism with Zionism. Okay, so he said they supplanted colonialism and imperialism with Zionism. The Zionists have dominated. The Zionists have outstripped all other interest groups in the present struggle for our mother continent. They use such a benevolent, philanthropic approach that is quite difficult for their victims to see through their schemes. Zionism is even more dangerous than communism because it is made more acceptable and is thus more destructively effective. Since the Arab image is almost inseparable from the image of Islam, the Arab world has a multiple responsibility that it must live up to. Since Islam is a religion of brotherhood and unity, those who take the lead in expounding this religion are duty bound to set the highest example of the brotherhood and unity. It is imperative that Cairo and Mecca have a religious summit conference and show a greater degree of concern and responsibility for the present plight of the Muslim world. Or other forces will rise up in this present generation of young, forward thinking Muslims, and the power centers will be taken from the hands of those that they are now in and placed elsewhere.
Bro, we seeing that happen right now with Mali, Burkina Faso.
Right. Hours after typing this response, Malcolm was assassinated at the Audubon Ballroom in New York. He was 39. Oh, come on now. I'm gonna land my plane right there.
Bro.
I'm gonna land my plane right there.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, bro.
I need to see
my goodness.
On Sunday.
Oh
we gotta keep talking because
oh my goodness.
You know, gotta keep this conversation going.
Sheesh.
Malcolm's last article was about warning us about these people that we are just getting around to.
Right.
That's crazy.
Bro, that's crazy.
And then all of the cover-ups, and I could imagine, them like threatening Betty, like, yo, you gonna be able to live comfortable, but not that comfortable, but
right.
Let you never say nothing about these people. You know what I mean?
Come on, bro. Come on. And listen. Bro, we don't even got to bring up his son, do we?
No. I mean, bring it up. I mean, But yeah, that's interesting. Oh, you mean his grandson?
His grandson, I meant. Sorry.
Right. My bro. Yeah. Remember, he was supposed to be a guest on Know the Ledge, and that was our only guest that canceled. Back in the radio days, he was, he was the only guest, and we rescheduled it. We were gonna get him back on. It was an issue with his flight and whatnot. He landed a little bit late, so he wasn't able to make the show because he was traveling internationally. And then boom, he was gone. So the bloodline, right? Going back to what we're talking about with Sonia Massey, right? They still follow the bloodline. That's how you deal with it in war. When you slay your enemy, Ed Stark's Game of Thrones, you go after his progeny. You make sure the progeny, because they grow up.
Right.
So you don't want to leave the children to avenge the father. That's the Asaurian myth.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm talking about. That's the Asaurian myth. That's why in the Nordic warfare, and also that you see over there in Is It Real, they're taking the children out. They're like, nah, what you talking about?
Yeah,
we got to deal with them. Around 8, they start headshots. They start running down. Like, what do you mean?
What you mean?
So this is a dangerous game.
Yep, that's why the mythos of Osar. That's why Set had to chop him up into 14 pieces.
14. You feel me? So I want to briefly give everybody a little bit of insight as to the topics that we are going to be tapping into this Sunday.
Yes.
Dealing with the Project F.E.A.R.
Fear.
So I'm going to go ahead and just read it I'm going to go to the Eventbrite page and I'm going to read it so we can have a better understanding as to what we'll be dealing with.
Right.
And how this thing has kind of blown up into proportion. Like, join us on Sunday, the 28th at 8 p.m. We will also explore, explain, and extrapolate solutions from the PSYOPs fear-based campaign underway during the Jason months. This is a follow-up to When in Rome, and we're gonna just build on the fear-based programming topics. And they include, but are not limited to, police immunity.
Right.
So the fact that we saw the police do what he did to Sonia Massey, and immediately the Democrats threw out the counter argument, well, if Trump gets in office, then these officers that are getting away with murder already are going to have immunity. So we can't have that go down, right? Fear-based programming.
That's right. Fear-based programming.
And what the police immunity leads to, unchecked, will be fascism. That would be the beginning. You know what I mean? That's just playing out, the road to dictatorship.
Correct.
Another fear-based programming topic that was introduced in the month. All of these were rolled out in July, by the way, family. I just want to highlight that these were not in the mainstream narrative. This was not in the media. This was not a part of the programming in June.
Right.
This all came about in July. Presidential immunity, right? The Supreme Court did something unprecedented in the month of July, and it granted presidential immunity to Donald Trump to basically insulate him for his cases that he already was fighting, and anything coming up in the future. They basically was like, yo, you're going to be our emperor. All right.
Yeah, you're a king. You're a king.
And then kings become emperors. Right. What was my dude in Rome?
Oh yeah.
Julius
Caesar.
Yeah, he was getting power hungry. Project 20, presidential immunity, that's also fascism.
Yes, it is.
That's the way to that's the slope that none of us would want to go down.
Nope.
Project 2025, right? Taraji Henson, the night that we were doing When in Rome lecture with our good sister Vicky Dillard, Taraji was on a BET Awards, she publicly said, go and Google Project 2025. And she said it in a fear-based type of instructions and whatnot. Her eyes were bulging, and she was like, Project 2025, it's scary. So that was a fear-based, right? I went and looked at the search trends. It skyrocketed that night. Okay. And it's been a talking point in our community, right? Ever since. And people are like, I ain't into that. I'm talking about the 85ers. I'm talking about millions upon millions of melanated people, right? They're tapped in. They're plugged into this paradigm now.
Correct.
Agenda 24, right? Well, Project 2025, fascism, and then it's the introduction to Christian nationalism.
Yes, it is.
Something that this country has not necessarily seen. You read about it, you heard about it, and you were made aware of it when they were giving you these erroneous reconstructed stories about your history.
Funny you say reconstructive, because that's literally what Project 2025 is. It is the
reconstruction.
It's bro.
Reconquista.
You got brother for real. It's the rebirth of the Confederacy,
the Confederacy, right? And the Republic. Agenda 24. Another one: fascism, authoritarianism, and Trumpism.
Right.
Then we have the pro-Zionism, imperialism, the Gaza war, the illegal settlements, apartheid, colonialism.
Yes.
Then you got the Supreme Court, a Republican far-right stronghold.
That last, again, people, they're playing the long game. This ain't 4 years and a hopeful re-election. They hold those seats for life.
For life. They stacking the whole deck for life. They putting them people. It's like buying hotels on Monopoly. They making moves for the future.
Right.
Women's reproductive rights. I would say the cornerstone or the linchpin of what this whole thing is going to boil down to. The right to abort and women's reproductive rights, and they're going to throw in the transitional rights of the LBGT. They're going to jumble it. They're gonna give it a bundle.
Now, keep in mind to the viewers, we see women's rights, reproductive rights, and LGBTQ rights. We see that, but come on, let's not forget both of those special interest groups got where they got sociopolitically off the backs of the civil rights movement.
Facts.
Gotta remember that.
Super facts. You know?
You think the right doesn't know that? So you're seeing women's rights and LGBTQ in front of you, but right behind it, what they're really aiming at, all right.
Oh, for sure. It's a dismantling. Yes. Culture war. Culture war, right? Far right extremism, a war on liberals, LBGT, and woke cultural norms.
Right.
They tired of y'all twerking in the restaurant.
Right. Right.
They tired of listening to the baby on elevated music.
Right.
They tired of sharing spaces with y'all, bro. They just tired. You think that they cool with all of that?
Yeah,
they tired of y'all coming through with that cowboy shit. They don't want none of that, bro.
Nah, exactly.
They tired of the dudes that's wild sassy at the they tired of the sassy ensemble twerking at the fucking.
He said the sassy ensemble.
You know what I mean? Dudes get mad loose and comfortable around Nordic.
He said they tired of the Zest Brigade.
They tired of the Zest Fest. The Zest Fest is taking place in Atlanta.
Right.
They tired of that. So culture war. They like, you know what? They on their Andrew Tate shit. They be like, yo, I want to get on my, you know, it's really weird with them because they're the zesty ones. They are the fluids. You know, they're fighting themselves, really.
They're fighting themselves.
They're definitely fighting themselves. This cultural war could have been shadow work years ago. Like they could have just been, you know, they could have evolved if they did the shadow work, like the incels.
Right.
And, you know, all of the you know, the red pill, men going their own way type groups.
Yes.
You know, they could have did more shadow work.
Yes.
But they are descending into misogyny. They are descending into this you know, this Hulk Hogan shit, this Vince McMahon, this grab him by the PUSS, that type shit. They want to go with that.
They want to go with that.
Right. And they're looking at the liberation, the sexual liberation, or what they call the counterculture revolution. Like people are literally rocking with everything hanging out.
Yes.
Right. And because they're about suppression and hiding, and they didn't necessarily, they're still conservative, they're still in the closet. That shit sets off alarms as triggers, and they would rather demonize it, hide it, and try to step on it, but they're going to war with themselves.
That's a fact. That's the biggest piece right there. The issues that they're fighting about, ultimately, believe it or not, and this might sound harsh, they're really not our issues.
Super facts. This is most of this is inferiority complex going wow.
Word is born.
Straight like that. This is fragility.
Yes.
Mass deportation. Another fascism, xenophobia, anti-global agenda. Right? So you mass deporting people, but your global agenda is done. There is no more welcome to my country type shit to America.
Nope.
There's no more margaritas the minute you get off the cruise, my genius. Like
there's no more bring your tired
and y'all rallying up the goddamn Ecuadorians. You know what I mean? Hands off the Dominicans. Like y'all making it hot.
Right.
For the passport bros with all of this xenophobia. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It's supposed to be a cultural exchange taking place. You know what I'm saying? We take your tide and your poor, and you take our, you know what I'm saying, our horny and our poor in your little countries, because they coming through. Economic woes, BRICS, inflation, bank failures, end of petrodollars, debt, recession.
Woo!
Yeah.
De-dollarization, bro.
De-dollarization.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right. That's right.
So people pockets done got hit with 8 Scud missiles. you feel me? $100 can't survive you can't spin through a restaurant with a hundo.
You can't go to the grocery. Once upon a
Nah, you
time, you
can't
could go to
spin
the
a block.
grocery store
Nah,
with
yeah, you can't
$100
spin
bill and
Walmart with a
actually get.
buck.
Say it again.
Sober. You can't
Yeah.
spin Walmart with 100.
Nah, it's over now. Yeah, it's over.
Bank failures, you got banks just dissolving.
Yeah.
You know, it's being held. This bubble is gonna pop. It's inflated. It's hot air in here, y'all. Promise you. War with Russia, China, North Korea, Iran. Civil war, far right, Christian extremists, militias, J6, pro-Trumpers, social unrest. That's not just that's just me scratching the surface of fear. Not Project 2025, Project Fear. Because ultimately, what Project 2025, when you read it or when you dive into it, is not going to make you feel enthusiastic and encouraged and whatnot. It's not going to make you feel courageous. It's not going to make you feel all American. It is supposed to elicit fear, false expectations appearing real. You don't know what the future holds. So why would you play a part of that paradigm? Why would you allow them to put you in the psyops?
You got it, bro. You got it. You got
it. Fear.
You got it. You got it. That's
so you're creating this reality for them by participating in it and not knowing that you are a fucking game, that you the monkey in the middle. They need your
participation.
They need your participation. And boy, oh boy, did they get it. When they rolled out all of this theater in the month of July, the alleged assassination attempt, then the Kamalification of Kamala.
Right.
Then you got a president who got an 80-year-old face with 40-year-old hands. Come on now. Talk like some, what's going on, mate? Like, who's driving this one? Who's driving this bus? This yellow bus right here is going off the rails.
It's going off the rails.
So it is mean. It would be of high concern if I was an ordinary citizen. If I was an ordinary citizen and I was on psychotropics, I am going to skits out a little bit because there's a lot going on simultaneously if you really think about it.
Yes. Correct. That's a lot. Would you just those talking points for Sunday? I mean, that all adds up to the perfect storm. Unless you are operating under another narrative and another agenda.
You have to control the agenda and you got to take control of the narrative. Make it yours.
Yes.
Make it yours. That's the best thing that you got going for you is that you could take this narrative and make it yours.
That's real.
There's nothing is written in stone. And as you can see, just with life showing you every other day, it's malleable.
Right. It's brother. See, I made this point before. Matter of fact, a few days ago. In 1929 was the stock market crash, and then immediately following was the Great Depression.
Yes.
A lot of people went flat broke, lost their shirt, lost everything. But
and a few people came up.
Yes, but they came up because of what you just said. They realized that when the bottom fell out of the social norms and there was no floor to stand on, that they could make a new floor. When everything falls apart socially, there are no rules, which means now you can make the new rules.
That's right. Something has to fall for something to rise.
There you go.
You would be a young and an old fool to hold on to this goddamn
Come on,
man. These are slumlords. You know what I'm talking about? Like, do not. I want better for you, beloved.
Right.
I want better for you, beloved. Pop the balloon. Like,
exactly.
This is a pop the balloon session.
That's right.
Y'all got these people coming out here and y'all ain't popping the balloon the minute they pull up. You know how my homie with no neck pulled up and everybody popped the balloon at once? Y'all standing around and y'all letting these people talk to you and entice you.
Yes.
You feel me? and try to quote unquote court you,
Right.
when you should just be popping the balloon right off the rip.
Right off top.
Don't give them no energy. Don't give them no feedback. Shut them down. Pop the balloon and look away.
Pop the balloon on them.
Step on the balloon if need be. You have to protect your energy. You have to be responsible for the decisions that you make based off of the information that you've been getting. If you just believe in it and you don't know it, you might not be able to navigate through this war that's on higher principalities, because this is about having higher principles. This is about having higher principles. This is about having a character. This is about standing on something. This is about values. This is about not being dehumanized and desensitized and folding for $1 and folding for what these imperialists are dangling, because that is what Malcolm X was talking about to the last day that he was here. El Malik Shabazz, he put it in stone. He let you know who them people are. And fast forward to where we are, we dealing with this same level of technology, not the red or the blue run America. That man is standing right in the middle. He's the one running things, okay? Or whoever's behind him, right? That's the ones. These people are just puppets that are the ones that they're dangling in front of you. These are CEOs of a corporation. But please understand, these people do not run this corporation. Get that out of your head and start focusing on governing your mental first and foremost. Before you govern anything, govern your mental. Make sure your mental health is correct. Govern your mind. Center yourself, and then you could begin to govern your people through body politics, and you could become an asset. Because at the end of the day, we got about 5 to 6 months to get our acts together. Not even our acts together, to make some shit happen.
Real talk.
And I'm up for the challenge. You feel me? I'm up for the challenge. I believe in us. I know we got what it takes.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Not just believe. I'm going beyond belief. I know. So me and you, we've been here before, Sharif. You know what I'm talking about? We survived Bush.
Word is ball, bro. But, yo, I gotta say, this flyer is crazy.
Oh yeah, we was in our bag.
Yo, this flyer is crazy. Yeah, bro. And like you said, we've been through this. You know what I'm saying? I've got total faith in our potential and in our abilities. You know, like you said, we survived Bush 1 and 2.
You feel me?
Yeah.
This is a cakewalk. Yeah, I be getting nervous at Donald Trump from that's The Apprentice. Nigga, we survived George W. the second.
You know what Prophet Noble Drew Ali said? He said it's gonna be a breakfast fight.
Straight up. By lunch it's over.
Right.
By lunch it's over. I promise you.
A breakfast fight.
It's breakfast fight.
Yep.
So we are crossing over the 3-hour mark, and you know, we getting into overtime paid hours, and I don't do that. So I want to say, I want you to let the people know what's your Cash App if anybody wants to be supportive of your endeavors.
$SHANAEL BEY. That's SHANAEL Bey. $SHANAEL BEY. Make sure you catch us Sunday. Make sure don't miss that. Please don't.
That right here. Do not miss this right here. Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah.
For sure.
Featuring these good-looking men right here. These two brothers standing on business.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Dropping the information, dropping the bombs on the people.
Right.
Giving you that insight, breaking this thing down from a Moorish perspective.
Yes.
Like we always do around this time. We're gonna deliver a classic. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, be in the building. We look forward to seeing y'all.
Absolutely.
We could be found. It's on Eventbrite.
Yep.
And I'm also gonna have the link on KTL University. And I'm gonna drop the link right now in the chat. Like I said, the first 10 ticket holders, you will have access to the They Not Like Us shirts. Let me play the commercial for that so you can see what they look like. But yeah, that's going to be a gift from us to you for supporting the movements. Psst, I see dead people. I can't do that because that's a copyright and playing with these songs. They're not playing there.
Right.
But yeah, nonetheless, the shirts are available for the first 10 ticket holders. We'll be able to find out who you are through our Shopify or whatever. But yeah, I appreciate everybody in the building tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your energy.
Absolutely.
I look seeing y'all on Sunday so we could really finish this conversation. Because like I said, we got a lot of videos to play and a lot of stuff that's copywritten. So you can't play with YouTube no more. You got to do that behind the Zoom wall.
For sure.
All right. You have anything to leave them with?
Nah, just listen, you know, and I want you to, I'm going to just say a few words. Like, we're talking about narrative and the narrative we've grown up under and has been programmed into our DNA, right? Or programmed into our memory banks, right? That has to change. It has to change because a narrative is a social algorithm. It's a psychic algorithm. It describes the parameters of how you think, not what you think about, how you think about whatever it is you think about. So I'll say that to say this: my leader and one of the people and the elders that I listened to, Brother R. Jones Bey, was the Grand Sheik and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. I'm the national press secretary for the organization, but I listened to this man and think about what I just said. I said the narrative prescribes the parameters of your thought. You, to survive this, you need another narrative. You need a new narrative. So he said it this way: it's not what you think.
Right.
Leave it at that.
I'm gonna play this commercial before we get out of here because you just reminded me. Though I did cook up some P-Funk for the family. Yes, and sir. I did say that line in there as well. So let's go. Let's ride out to this, and then we're gonna close it out with the 44 tops with Purple Like Prince.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
On the way home, whenever.
Where's the audio on this?
Russia didn't have involves politics.
That was all right. Let me We having 1,000 folders.
Yeah. I see my brother in the chat, my brother Tip, the brother I mentioned before that did this shirt, Brother Tim Jennings Bay. If any of y'all see him in the chat, get at him if you want this shirt.
Fired on them because it is given.
Right. Yeah, that shirt is fire though.
Yes, sir.
It's taking me back to them Harlem days.
Right. The big man days, right?
Big man days and all that. Yeah. That's what it's given.
That's right.
Dr. Jack Felder and them.
Jack Felder, come on, bro. Remember him?
Yes, sir.
Ooh,
I just
Jack
seen
Felder
his son
on
Nova.
125. Yeah.
Bro. Yeah. Legendary.
When the Mart, that was back when the Mart was open.
When the Mart, you hear me? The Mart, man.
Right.
That was given. It was given. You know what I mean? It was good. But we here now. Feel me? We are here now. You know what I'm talking about? Melanin Mondays. We are back in the building. I am refreshed. I am charged up. And there's so much going on in the month of July. You know, if I wanted to take a break, I couldn't. You know what I'm talking about? There's too much things going down. You know, so we here. We showing up. We popping out. You know what I mean? We taking full advantage of this red summer. We are taking full advantage of the energy that the summer represents. You know what I mean? We are in perfect alignment with these downloads that are hitting the planet and whatnot. I'm receiving them. I don't know about you, but I'm getting them. You know what I mean? Them downloads is being caught by me. I'm receiving. Thank you, universe. I am receiving. You know what I mean? I am a receiver. Okay. Thou shalt receive. So I'm appreciating all of the downloads. I received a powerful download the other day while I was taking my little recharging break, while I was recalibrating, and while I was realigning oneself, right? I received a very powerful download. It went right to the hard drive, and my eyes were like glowing, like homie in the poster right here. You feel me? My eyes, my eyes lit up because my brain got charged and whatnot, because I was given a vision. And when I was given that vision, it just lit my eyes up. It got me right. You know what I mean? And that vision was telling me what I'm going to be doing this month. Now, first and foremost, shout out to all of my, and another thing that I have to point out, and it really deals with the consistency. It's called consistency. There's a level of consistency, and I don't think nobody else will call it out. Nobody else will identify it. So I find myself in a role of tooting my own horn. That's something that I don't like to do. You feel me? I don't really like to do it. However, I have to point certain things out. And what I want to point out is the consistency of the lectures and the titles of the lecture, and how on point these titles continue to be. You dig what I'm saying? So the last lecture was When in Rome, okay? The Jason months. And for anybody that was a student in that class that we did with Vicky Dillard on June 30th, the information that was laid out, was a preparation for where we are today. All right. We were laying out the fall of the empire. We were laying out the Sibyls. We were laying out the Vatican, the real meaning of Vatican. Shout out to Vicky Dillard. She broke it down. She also laid out how the war that we see taking place in Gaza, she showed us the information where they themselves said that they were going to war against a black woman. You dig what I'm saying? They were going to war against a black woman. They called the Palestinians the children of a black bitch. Pardon my French or my Moorish Latin.
We know that Israel hates Gaza. They hate the Palestinian people. They consider them to be their enemies. And so necessarily you can imagine the different names that they would call them. And so to pump up their soldiers to get ready to commit genocide, to commit murder, mass murder.
Can you see the clip?
No, sir. Oh, now we can see it. Yes. Now we just need the sound. Here we go.
עזה שחורה היה פח זבל. עזה שרמוטה. עזה בת 1000 זונה. כושלאים עם אמא שלך, עזה. עזה בת זונה.
Now, dear brother, I want you to pause right there. Family, do you see what he said in Hebrew? Y'all see that's a celebrity right there in the middle of the group. Watch this. Look at the first words that Leonarchus performs this concert for the soldiers, right? That's his name. I want y'all to look him up. He's a famous musician, Israeli musician. So they bring out the best. The government of Israel bring out the best so that their soldiers can go murder and kill. What's the first thing he says as a mantra? What does he liken Gaza to, family? Somebody tell me in the chat.
Wow.
We're talking about our civil mothers, right? We're talking about the original sacerdotal order, the original Vatican. We're talking about the original enemies of our mother. What came out of him as a musician? What did he liken the Gazans to? He said, Gaza is on your screen, you black woman. Ooh. Family, I need y'all to really take that in. I need you all to understand that he said this with ease, prophetically. This is what naturally came out of his mouth as the top epithet, to liken Gaza to. What did he say, y'all? Gaza, you black woman. Gaza, you trash. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all don't believe that this is in the genes of them folks, if you can't recognize that this is actually spiritual.
A dramatic, dark moment in American history. And the fact that those 50 or so Democrats refused to show up is to their credit, because those who did show up to cheer Netanyahu, as we've been hearing just the first few minutes, all this cheering is really in every possible way. And I wouldn't say shameful, it's shameless.
Right? So we were laying it out. We were telling you this Jason month, this presidential, this theater, this political theater was going to be about something. You know what I mean? Jason stands for July, August, September, October, November. And then the next lecture is Fear of a Black and More Messiah. And that is on July the 28th. And the theme is fear. Okay, the theme of this is fear, and this is an installment that we started all the way back in 2016, October the 10th, 2016 to be exact, right? Right around the time when Trump became president. Okay, we kicked it off in Brooklyn at Nicholas Bookstore, Fear of a Black and More Messiah, and we returned in July of 2024 with our newest installment of Fear of a Black and More Messiah. And you know, people be sleeping on shit, you know what I mean? We throw these titles out there, and you know, even me, sometimes I say to myself, I'm gonna wait for the title to kick in, because the great divine is always on my side. I get these downloads. I don't just think of these titles out of nowhere. I have to sit with myself. I have to really meditate. I have to be in a certain type of place, and then I get downloads. I get information. I get directions and instructions, and I follow them. And here we are in the season of fear, just like that. Okay, just like that. I was on the phone with a Democrat today. They shook daddy. I promise you. The level of fear in this person's voice was unprecedented. Okay, they have black women more than black men. They got black, because the black woman is holding on to that Democrat shit with their dentures. They gripping that, you know what I mean? Yep. They holding on to everything Democrat, because it seems as if that's their programming. Right. It seems as if that's how they've been programmed to roll. They don't know anything else. They don't know no independent. They damn sure don't know no Republican life, and they don't know about not voting. Okay. Right. So they are wearing this Democrat shit like a suit. It's an identity for them. Okay. It's a jacket. So they are feeling, and women's intuition is very strong. Yep. Very strong. They get to, you know what I mean? They get to feel the reverberations before we do. Right. So the intuition is picking up. Right. And they like, nah, something is coming. You know what I'm talking about? This shit is not normal. They could feel it. And the level of hate against all things democratic from a fanatical side, right? These Republicans want blood. They're fanatics right now. And they were further radicalized yesterday. In this situation, there's a lot of talk going on the internet about, is it stage or is it real? It don't matter. This is the theater. This is a political theater. The world is a stage. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. It don't matter if that's WWF, if it's a Vince McMahon production. The job was done. Okay?
Why are you here? Let me put it very simply, Vince. I'm taller than you. I'm better looking than you. I think I'm stronger than you. And I'm here to challenge you to a match in WrestleMania.
What? Oh, I get it. It's the battle of a billionaire.
That's right.
He's a wrestler.
Hey, wait a minute. I know you have an ego, but I had no idea it was that big, all right? I mean...
Okay? They succeeded in whatever the experiment was. They succeeded in the experiment. It's you know, I'm not gonna say it's game over, but it's mission accomplished. You understand?
But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero? And they tried to kill the next president of the United States. Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania.
Yo, this shit was fake. Did you see this? Did you see? Fam, I don't think y'all understand how this thing is working.
Anything else, suspect? Me? I didn't know what happened. Yeah, I'm good. This fucking bitch is crazy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good night, and we will see you on Sunday in class. Love and light.
Red, blue, purple light. Red, blue, purple light.
To this day.
Friends.
To this
Facts. Red, blue, purple light. Friends. Yeah. And blue, purple light. Friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to Melanin Monday. Red, blue, purple light. Red, blue, purple light.
To this day.
Friends.
To this day.
Facts. Red, blue, purple light. Friends. Red and blue, purple light. Friends. Facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to Melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was telling land, focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the ship makes diamonds.